and Beats Media presents the Scoop and Score Football Show.
Hi, everybody, and welcome in here to the Scoop and Score Football Show, brought to you by Ball and Beats Media. Spencer, sir, it's been a couple months. We're back at it.
Yeah, it's been a few months. It's definitely a new setup. It's not the TV studio that we're used to, but we're graduates now, so we can't use it anymore. But at the same time,
Yes,
we thought we would take a piece of B&B with us on the way, so we can
absolutely. And the thing is, B&B, it's just going to keep getting bigger. You know, we have more updates. You know, we had just recently announced Ball and Beats Media. It's a
Yep.
long-term vision that we both have, and we really feel like we can do some stuff here in the future moving forward with it.
Yep.
We have bigger plans. Everything we have right now is more of a temporary setup, like we said. It's time to put the fries in the bag, if you will, for us, since we are college grads, and it's time to, kind of claw our way up to it. But we got some big visions, man, and we're looking for.
Yep.
I know I'm looking forward. I know you're looking forward to it. And we're starting off here. Just a football show. Just a football show to start it off. But what else do we talk about in reality?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Baseball. I love talking about baseball.
But
We just had the MLB trade deadline today, so I could go on a 2-hour-long tangent about trades and how the Tigers effed it up, but this is a football show, so I will hold my opinion to that for whenever we talk about baseball at some point in another show.
it's fair. That's fair. But I think I need to start off this conversation based around. We had breaking news a little bit earlier today
Yep.
about Terry McLaurin requesting a trade out of Washington. And it's been a whole debacle with that organization with Terry McLaurin. The thing is, you've had nothing but positive vibes around Washington last year after drafting Jaden Daniels, after going on a run to the NFC Championship game. You bring in new pieces in the offseason. You bring in Laramie Tunzel. You bring in Debo Samuel. You bring in other pieces on the defensive side of the ball as well to try and make this championship contender roster in Washington around Jaden Daniels, but now his number one wide receiver wants out. The question is like, is he really going to get? He's got to get paid, right? There's no way Washington's letting him walk.
Yeah. I completely think that Washington's just going to pay him because Terry McLaurin has been the most consistent thing in Washington for years. Washington has been nothing but a garbage can before Jaden Daniels. They had Carson Wentz for a few years, and that was an absolute disaster. They had Alex Smith, the latter stages of his career before
Right.
he obliterated his leg. Washington's been in turmoil, and then they had Sam Howell for a few years, and it's been really bad. But the one thing that's been consistent for them is Terry McLaurin showing up every single year. And now that Washington is really good, they are an NFC contender to go to the Super Bowl. I like the moves they made in the offseason. This team needs Terry McLaurin. They acquired Debo Samuel in the offseason. He's not a wide receiver one anymore. He's gotten older and he just doesn't have it in him. And he's going to be a more elusive wide receiver, running back combo kind of thing. I'm going to see him in some out routes, maybe a few just check downs and stuff like that. He's not going to be doing anything too crazy. But Terry McLaurin's always been that guy in Washington. He's been that guy for years. He's been wide receiver one, and he honestly is one of the most slept on wide receivers in all the league.
Yes.
And
100%.
I'm not saying that I'm a Buckeye fan. I love Terry McLaurin when he was at Ohio State. Obviously, I know you did too. But he has been consistent in Washington for years, and they need to just pay him. They need to get this done. He is one of their team captains. He is one of their leaders. And Jaden Daniels needs a guy like Terry McLaurin who's got leadership and who's been around the system for a while to where he can step in and you know that you can always rely on number 17.
You always can. Yeah. They have to pay him. They have to pay this dude. He's literally been the one bright spot they've had consistently over the whole turmoil of the Dan Snyder situation.
Forever.
I mean, they've been the epitome of mid for the longest time and awful for a little bit. And they have to pay this guy. I mean,
and I think they will. I think they'll give him the $30 million a year that he deserves. When you're a consistent wide receiver one, you're getting over 1,000 yards a season. You deserve that. I think they'll end up paying him. Washington also has a ton of cap space, so I don't know what the holdup is. I don't know if their new owners are being cheap. I don't know if it is something going on internally in the locker room, if maybe things have gone south. But to reports around the NFL, none of that has happened. It's just Terry McLaurin wants a pay raise, and he deserves it, and he should get it, because if Washington lets this guy go and actually trades him, Washington is screwed. They
Big
need
time.
more weapons on that offense. Just Debo Samuel is not enough.
It's definitely not enough. And Debo Samuel, I mean, is this the Debo Samuel from
He's
like
not the Debo.
2022?
No.
You know what I mean? 2021
No,
time
yeah.
frame? No, he's not.
There's a reason why San Francisco traded him.
Yes, for sure. I mean, talking about San Francisco and Brandon Ayuk is another guy we could talk about at a later date because I feel like he needs to really step up.
Yes.
We
He needs
gotta
to play up to his contract.
we gotta just overreact quickly because today football returned. It's been months, right? It's been months without football, and your Detroit Lions just ended the Hall of Fame game as we speak in
Yeah, it was not
34-7. Are we? It's overreaction time. Is the Lions season already over before it ever
The
started?
season's over before it started. We're gonna go 1-16. We'll beat the Browns. But we're gonna get annihilated by the Packers in Week 1. Jordan Love will throw for 500 yards and 6 touchdowns. It'll be Glenn all over again. The Lions are going to be terrible for the next 20 years, and I'm going to be depressed in football this season. No. The Hall of Fame game means absolutely nothing to me. It was cool to see some rookies make some plays like Isaac Tesla, who not a lot of people know. He went into the Lions draft room when they were doing their interviews. He came in with a custom Lions Isaac Tesla jersey before he got drafted by the team with a 19 on the back.
Die-hard Detroit Lions fan growing up.
Yeah. He's from Michigan. He went to, I believe, Grand Valley State, and then he transferred to Arkansas.
Yep.
For 2 years in Arkansas, he was, but Arkansas was also ass. But it was really cool to see that he made some plays. My biggest takeaway is going to be, and I think you can say this with any team, the Lions need a backup quarterback. Hendon Hooker he got drafted in the 3rd round a few years ago, and he's done nothing of note. I mean, we've had Jared Goff, but at the same time, I didn't like that pick at the time because I would have rather had a defensive tackle. Like, the Rams got Kobe Turner a few picks after that, and that would have been amazing to have Kobe Turner up the middle with Aleem McNeil, with DJ Reader. And obviously now, the Lions got Tyleik Williams, but they probably wouldn't have taken him if Kobe Turner would have been on the Lions. But anyway, and Kyle Allen might be the worst football player I've ever seen in my life.
Kyle Allen's the one with experience, though. That's the thing. Like, he should be your backup in reality because he's had the experience, but...
Yeah, he has the experience of being terrible. Tim Boyle 2.0.
Tim Boyle 2.0?
In the league for years and years is crazy to me because his college stats, he threw 1 touchdown and 12 interceptions. But besides the point, the Lions need to go get a backup quarterback. Maybe they sign Teddy Bridgewater again, see if that happens, if he wants to get out of high school coaching again, like he did last year. Maybe go see what Carson Wentz is doing. I don't know. But if Jared Goff goes down, this team is absolutely screwed. But then again, you can say that with just about maybe 32 other NFL teams, which is all of them.
Yeah, exactly.
If your starter goes down, you're screwed. Unless you're the Eagles with Nick Foles a few years ago.
Right.
You'll win the Super Bowl. But
it's fair. It's fair.
It's not anything. The Hall of Fame game means nothing. And people that are overreacting about it, it is funny. Some of the overreactions are kind of funny.
We have to really overreact because Trey Lance is that guy, and he should take over Justin Herbert's job.
Yeah, he did.
Come on now.
Trey Lance played like he was gonna wear a gold jacket one day. I mean, he was.
Yeah, it looked like it's the most football he's played since his showcase game in North Dakota State in 2020. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
He's been one of the biggest busts in the past.
The problem is that he's never really had the chance to really play. I mean, he had the one time he played a couple games for San Francisco.
He got hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Brock Purdy came in and took his job.
It's fair. I mean, it's fair, but I feel like he just never really had a true shot past that injury. You know what I mean? Like he just sat in San Francisco for a little bit, got that chance, got hurt, and he's never really had a chance ever again. I mean, he's 25 years old.
Yeah,
he's barely played football. Even with North Dakota State, he only really had one real year where he's played.
Yeah, and he'll be the backup in Los Angeles this year. He had a really
Yes.
good game. He'll probably get a few more starts in the preseason games for the Chargers, since the Lions and the Chargers also have the 3 regular preseason games. But he looked really good today, and I'm not going to give him too much credit because he was playing against IKEA workers and guys who are going to be on Grubhub in 3 weeks, and DoorDashers. But at the same time, he did make some throws. He made some plays with his on the legs. He balled out. I can't lie. I mean, to be honest, I stopped watching the game in the third quarter because
Who's watching it?
it was 24-7, and I'm like, okay, I've seen enough. Both my backup quarterbacks suck. Pray that Jared Goff is healthy for all 17 games this season. But he made some really good throws, and then I saw a few of DJ Uiagalelei's throws, and then I left because DJ Uiagalelei was making plays, and I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous.
I mean, he went 2 for 3 passing. Good job. Good
He
job,
made some
DJ
throws.
Ukulele.
He made
DJ
some throws.
Ukulele. DJ.
66.7% completion percentage. It's not bad.
Better than he ever did in college, right there. Shout out DJ Uiagalelei, one of the greatest college
He was
quarterbacks
solid
we've ever
in his
seen.
first year or two in Clemson.
He should have never
And
left Oregon
then
State.
Oregon State, he got a jolt and he was a little better. And then he had some injury issues. And then obviously, he went to Florida State, which was supposed to be the big job and the big, his big payoff. And it turned out to be one of the worst seasons ever. He was horrendous. And so was the entire Florida State team, to be fair. So
They just never recovered from the previous year, to be honest. That's really what happened.
No, I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
That's, going 13-0 and you're the 5th seed playing Georgia in the Orange Bowl. Yeah, no. That's tough. But they would have made it now because now it's 12 teams. But anyway, yeah, the Hall of Fame game means nothing. Training camp. I pay attention to training camp a lot to see who's doing well and who gets hurt, because as a Lions fan, at some point, everyone gets hurt. And you get to see 4-stringers like Jamal Adams and Zach Cunningham start in a playoff game.
Yep.
And that's why they gave 45 points to the Commanders. But anyway, enough of my misery of the past year. But yeah.
It's all right.
Hall of Fame game is nothing.
I have enough
also
misery
do wanna
right
go to a
now.
game, though.
It's all right. I have enough misery as a Browns fan right now with Martin Emerson Jr. now out for the year with a torn Achilles, and it was a contract year for him.
That really sucks.
It's really
Not
bad.
just for Browns fans, but for him. Being in a contract year and you get hurt.
Yeah.
And I thought Emerson was going to step up because Denzel Ward only plays like 5 games a year. He was going to step up and be that corner one for Cleveland because they're going to need it. That hurts. That not only hurts the Browns, but it hurts his money that he's going to earn.
Big time.
He'll get a 1-year prove-it deal probably with the Browns after this year. I think he'll probably sign a 1-year deal.
Yes.
And he'll get his shot to make his contract, but still, anytime you before the season starts, you're told you get an injury in your year. That's terrible.
Yeah,
because you work all off season to get your body right, to get your mind right, just for you to be out for the entire year, just to sit from the sidelines. That's terrible.
It's unfortunate with a season that's already filled with enough drama as it is in Cleveland with the quarterback carousel, Russian roulette as it is. Pick a quarterback. Yeah. They're going to start in week 1. Week 2, it might be someone different. That's the whole other thing with
Start one every quarter. Why not?
Training camp. And the thing is, watching Cleveland's training camp, there's been obvious quarterbacks who've been getting the first team reps. It's been Kenny Pickett and it's been Dylan Gabriel. Kenny Pickett's been down now. He got injured, I think, last week. And you've had guys been able to show up and show out, like Shedeur Sanders, who has done really well in training camp when he's gotten the opportunity. The problem is, I think Shedeur is the most likely candidate to not be the starter. However, I don't think that means he's the most likely candidate to be traded off the team, because you have 4 quarterbacks in that room right now. You have 4 quarterbacks right now. And the thing is, one of them's got to move. One of them's got to be gone.
Kenny Pickett's hurt. So
Kenny
he's
Pickett's
off
hurt.
the board.
Yeah.
You have 3 now.
You do have 3 really going into the season.
Flacco, you have Shedeur, and you have Dylan Gabriel. If I were you, I'd pick a rookie and have them be the backup. Have a battle for QB2 between Dylan Gabriel and between Shedeur Sanders, and have Joe Flacco start the first few games. When he gets hurt after week 5 because his legs can't hold it anymore, you start your quarterback 2 and see what happens. And
Yeah.
if it is terrible, you draft Drew Aller in the first round.
Don't get me started on that. Don't get me started on Drew Aller in the first round talk. Not yet. Not yet. We're gonna dive into some takes anyway with college football later on here. But for me, I thought Kenny Pickett was going to be the starter before this injury. Personally, the way it was going, I thought it was going to be Kenny Pickett's job because I don't think Cleveland traded for him with the expectation of him to not compete for that starting role, and it was pretty evident early on when Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski both said early on he's going to compete for that role. He's going to compete for the starting job.
Yeah.
And I think it was Kenny Pickett's, but it's opened the door for somebody. Now, in reality, it should be Joe Flacco's. I mean, he's known that system. He obviously, I mean, arguably he's been the best quarterback we've had in that system.
He won comeback player of the year
Exactly.
with Cleveland. He got a contract because of his Linsanity run that
Right.
he had with Cleveland,
Right.
with the Colts last
And the
year.
thing is, the fans, the fans want it to be Flacco out of anybody. I mean, just because of that alone. But I mean, if it's going to be a young
So
guy,
weird.
if we're going to keep a young guy, right? Shadur's just better than Dylan Gabriel. I'm not saying Dylan Gabriel doesn't have the IQ. I mean, he clearly does. He's got the mental game. You know what I mean? And it's pretty clear Cleveland, specifically the front office, they made a decision outside of Jimmy Haslam's hands in that third round. That's what I think. I think that they said, we're going to get a guy so that way our owner doesn't get impulsive. No matter what Jimmy Haslam has to say. Like he just recently, a couple days ago, with reporters mentioned, it was Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry who made that pick for Shadur.
Yeah.
We know how Cleveland is.
I still think it was Haslam.
I still think
because
it was Haslam
if
too.
you look at Stefanski and Andrew Berry's face when they drafted Shador, they didn't look pleased at all. They actually looked like they didn't want to take the guy.
To be fair, they looked that way a lot. They did look that way a lot.
Yeah, but like they like barely clapped. They like looked depressed when they drafted him. I mean, it might be all three of them, and it might just be, you know what, we don't have a quarterback at all, and maybe we take a shot on this guy. He's a 5th round pick.
Right.
Who cares if he sucks? It's a 5th round pick, and maybe it works out. Maybe Shador actually turns into something to where the Browns can have him start. But at the same time, the Browns need a lot. Like they need a lot. I mean, their offense I think will be better. I like some of their picks. Their wide receiver core outside of Jerry Jeudy needs some help. I like their. This is one thing I will say. The Browns tight end duo of David Njoku and Harold Fannin Jr. is
going to be
a top 5 tight end duo because you can have Harold Fannin Jr. do everything for you.
Right.
And David Njoku, he can block, he can catch,
Yep.
he can do everything. He's an all-around tight end. I love that pick of Harold Fannin for the Browns.
That's my favorite pick of the entire draft, too.
And I really think it's going to work well for Cleveland because David Njoku is getting older.
Yes.
And I think that at some point, I don't know when his contract ends, Harold Fannin Jr. can take the reins.
Yes.
And then when Cleveland finally gets their quarterback, unless it turns out to be
said finally, we're going to keep having this conversation 30 years down the road, buddy. Just know that.
That jersey of all those names since, was it 2000 or like
1999?
There's like 99 with like
when they came
26, 27 quarterback names on there. It's going to just keep growing at this point. You're going to add a few more names to that list this year. You're going to add 3.
At least 3.
You got Pickett. I feel like Pickett's going to play at some point.
He's going to play if he's on the roster. The problem is, the real thing is, which one is not going to be on the roster at the start of the year? That's my question.
It's if Pickett if Pickett's hurt for a while, like if he's out long term, it's going to be Pickett. If it's not, then it's Watson. Watson's already hurt. You can have 3 quarterbacks on your roster. If you have 2 of them hurt with Watson and Pickett, you can have Gabriel, Sanders.
You could have all
Flacco.
of them. Yeah.
But that's normal. That's normal to have 3 quarterbacks on your roster.
Right.
5 is not normal at all.
Thing is,
that was nuts to me. To be honest, I couldn't believe the Browns drafted Shador because they
after
drafted
Dylan
Gabriel
yeah,
after trading for Kenny Pickett, after, obviously Deshaun Watson's done in Cleveland. He will never snap the ball again. At least he shouldn't. But he's still under contract,
Yeah.
and he's still a guy on your roster. But I think that they'll go into there with the 2 rookies and Flacco. They'll start Flacco for a few games, see how he does. If he looks like he's just done, I mean, he's in his what is he, 40? Is he 40?
Yeah, he's 40.
Yeah. Then you give the reins to whoever wins the quarterback battle between Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. And you see what happens from there. Maybe you get something in one of these guys.
Yeah.
If you don't, you're going to suck anyway. So you'll draft a quarterback again. So, I mean, at this point, the Browns need to find a quarterback, and I don't think it's going to be any of these guys. So if you ask me, I don't think any of these guys. Shedeur is too reckless with the ball. Dylan Gabriel is not good at reading a defense, and Joe Flacco is 1,000.
Sadly, our real quarterback of the future is in Tampa, Florida right now. But the thing is with Cleveland,
that's
right?
Hurt Browns fans for a long time.
Yeah. Trust me, buddy. It is.
Especially if he ever. I don't think he will, but if he ever makes a Super Bowl, I don't know if Browns fans would be cheering for him or would be despising him. Like for me, when
we'd have to be cheering.
When Matthew Stafford made the Super Bowl, I cheered for him. I loved Matthew Stafford for 12 years. He was my quarterback.
Right.
At the same time, I didn't cheer for him in the playoffs because we had their draft pick. When they made the Super Bowl, I'm like, you know what? We're either getting 31 or 32. Who gives a damn? Like, just go win it. And he did. But I do think I think Browns fans respect Baker Mayfield because of what he did for them. He won their first playoff game in.
I mean, we didn't sell him out. You know what I mean? It was it was ownership, and it was the coaching staff.
It was Haslam and it was Barry. So
for me, man, I mean,
take a swing on him.
It's crazy because we still even when it comes to Cleveland, we still haven't even talked about the fact of our linebacker room because JOK is probably not. He's not playing this season, and he might not ever touch the field again. He might be completely done. And we drafted Carson Schweschinger from UCLA, who seems to be a guy. Yep. He will be a guy for sure for Cleveland. But then we're also leaving out the other elephant in the room in Quinshon Judkins in that whole situation that's taken place. And now he's the only
wrong Buckeye running back.
He's the only rookie currently in the NFL still who has not signed a contract, which we're going to talk about the other one that held out for a long time just after this. But man, Cleveland just never no drama, right? That's two Buckeyes in a row that we've drafted in the second round who've been arrested before the start of their rookie year. Michael Hall Jr. had that happen last year. He was suspended for a few games.
Yeah.
And also was injured a little bit.
Until proven guilty, but it's not looking good for Quinshon. Luckily, you guys did draft Dylan Sampson.
Who I love. You're talking SEC Offensive Player of the Year last year.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that he was there. That's the only good thing, though, about it. You know, only good thing is that they still have that. And yeah, people are forgetting about Dylan Sampson. I don't understand how he was still available in the 4th round. That was kind of surprising to me. But for Cleveland,
I think it's honestly Tennessee players because under Josh Heupel, they've had great offenses every year, but none of their players have panned out. Like, none of their offensive pieces have panned out, really.
Yeah, it's a very quarterback-friendly kind of offense. It's very Ole Miss-like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like Jalen Hyatt, he hasn't really panned out.
Nope.
Obviously, Joe Milton, Hendon Hooker hasn't panned out. Any of the wide receivers, really.
Cedric Tillman with Cleveland.
Cedric Tillman, yeah. But I think it's just a system thing. But who knows? Maybe Sampson won't break that. I mean, he's gonna be getting starting. He's gonna get starting reps.
Right.
It's gonna be him and Jerome Ford. So.
Should be Nicholas Jamal Chubb. It should be down there in Houston, Texas.
I don't know how I'm gonna. I don't. That's. If I was a Browns fan and I saw Chubb in a Texans jersey, I'd throw up in my mouth. Like that just.
Trust me, I am. Imagine
it's not right at all. That was me when I saw Stafford in a Rams jersey for the first time. I'm like, this is not right at all. But
right.
I'm afraid yours was because he got hurt, a devastating injury, and he never recovered from it. And now he's getting a contract to see if he can maybe get, I don't know, that 50% back of what he was.
You want to be honest? He's looking like it so far in practice. I know it's just practice, but
watch him go out and have over 1,000 rushing yards.
And it hurts the most when you're talking about him in a Texans jersey. Just think about everything else we've been dealing with the Houston Texans in Cleveland and to see him in Houston and how
Yikes.
they are right now. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Just a little bit. It's okay,
Yeah.
though. Cleveland, we'll talk a lot about Cleveland, sadly, throughout this season. I don't know why we will, because there's really not any reason.
We'll have a whole episode dedicated to our team since they play in week 4. So
Yeah, for sure. The thing is,
that'll be fun.
I think that's also week 5 of the college football season, and we're talking about one of the best weeks this upcoming year as well for college football. A lot of fun games to talk about that week. But let's pivot to another dude who was holding out for a long time. Shamar Stewart finally taken care of down there in Cincinnati, and that whole debacle in Cincinnati with their owner down there, the most stingy ownership you can possibly imagine, was still Trey Hendrickson. He's been showing up recently to training camp, but
Good for props to him. I wouldn't.
I know.
That's me. I pay me. Like if obviously like you're under contract for this year, but at the same time, it's like if it's hold out this long and this is what the owners think of you, yeah, no, I'm not playing for a football team if you're not going to respect me. I don't blame him, but he's playing, so he's practicing. Whether that holdout starts in the regular season, kind of like 2 years ago with Chris Jones.
Yep.
We'll see, but who knows? The Cincinnati Bengals. If you want to screw up your franchise, you just look at what the Bengals have done. The Bengals went to a Super Bowl 4 years ago. They had an amazing young nucleus of Joe Mixon, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. I mean, they had a bad offensive line, but it was enough to where Burrow could at least make some plays. And they have addressed the offensive line, and it's largely blown up in their face, to be fair.
Yes.
But at the same time, they haven't paid any of their players. They let Jesse Bates go. That has haunted them. They need a safety. Daxton Hill has not been that guy down there in the safety position. They have legitimately nobody on defense except Trey Hendrickson. And now, obviously, with Shamar Stewart. But everybody else, I mean, who? You will barely recognize these guys.
Yeah.
Or you're like, oh, yeah, I remember him in college. Because they're nobodies. The Bengals' defense is horrendous.
It's
and the
awful.
problem is, and I'm going to do a little comparison real quick.
Okay.
The Cincinnati Bengals are sort of what the Maple Leafs used to be. The Maple Leafs had a great young nucleus of players in 2018, and they let them go because they wanted to pay their best players high market money. Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, William Nylander, and they went out and got John Tavares. The Cincinnati Bengals are paying Joe Burrow a ton of money,
Yes.
Jamar Chase a ton of money, a wide receiver 2 in T. Higgins, who deserves it, but is a wide receiver 2, a ton of money. And now they still got to pay one of the best defensive players, at least on the edge, in football, and Trey Hendrickson, a ton of money. Problem is, they don't have a lot of salary cap because of those 3 players they're paying.
I mean, they're literally paying for.
It's terrible.
Yeah. I mean, they're literally just hoping that their offense carries them. That's all. I mean, that offense is a Super Bowl winning offense. Even with the running back room with Chase Brown, who I think could have a better season than he's had. I mean, he played really good at the second half of the season last year for Cincinnati.
And who's their tight end? Is it Irv Smith?
Oh, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head.
I thought it was Irv Smith.
I think it is Irv Smith. They might.
I'm pretty sure he's on that team. But anyway, yeah, like they have one of the best quarterbacks and the best wide receiver duo in the league. But that's it. That's all they have. That's 3 out of 50 plus guys.
Right. And the thing is with Shamar Stewart, with the holdout, it was all about guaranteed money dealing with if he's got problems off the field kind of thing, which is a weird clause. But you also got to remember almost everyone nowadays, at least with first round picks, almost has pretty much fully guaranteed money. It's a pretty clear thing
It's
across the
a
board most of the part.
majority of it's fully guaranteed, and
Yeah.
then the rest they towards the season.
Right. But the thing is with Shamar Stewart too, opposite of Trey Hendrickson, we talked about him a lot in like the draft coverage and stuff about him being a guy who's only had like 3 career sacks. The production hasn't necessarily been there sack wise, but his pressure rate's been pretty good when he was at Texas A&M.
Yeah.
You're gonna need Hendrickson for Shamar Stewart to bring the best out of him. He's got to be
Yep.
there. And even Shamar Stewart's brought it up himself about the whole Trey Hendrickson situation. He's like, they got to pay him too. Come on, man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what it is with Cincinnati and the way they operate down there. It happens with their baseball team too.
Yeah.
That's just how they are. And I mean, I understand Cincinnati's not like a big market, but look at Cleveland. Even though we always miss, we swing and miss when it comes
But,
to the
like,
players we
yeah.
pay. But we're willing to pay. We're willing to pay guys,
But
no
the
matter
thing
what.
is like if the Bengals coming off the Super Bowl, like they were arguably the hottest team to go to in free agency. Like you have a young quarterback, you have a young wide receiver duo, you have a young fun offense, and you have a young defense who has gotten better. I mean, they had Jermaine Pratt, they had obviously Jesse Bates. Um, they need to help out their corner duo, but they also had a defensive line of DJ Reader, Sam Hubbard, Trey Hendrickson. Like they had guys, and they're all gone now because they're paying their best players top market money, and
Yeah.
they don't have money left, and they're also cheap. At the end of the day, they're the cheapest organization in football, and nobody's going to want to play with you if that's what you're known for. And I
Yeah.
think rookies and players and all this are seeing the Shamar Stewart thing. They're seeing the Trey Hendrickson thing. And like, I don't really want to know if I want to play for the Bengals. Like, playing for Joe Burrow is probably fun, but I want paid, and I want my ownership
Yeah.
to respect me.
Right.
So,
I mean, if Joe Burrow wasn't there, they'd be like a bottom 3 team in the NFL, and that might be selling it a little short, to be honest.
yeah.
Joe Burrow alone makes Cincinnati a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah.
Off name alone, So Cincinnati, I don't know what you got to do, but just pay the guys. Just pay the guys. Even though Shamar Stewart, I get he's a rookie, and I get like production wise coming out of A&M wasn't necessarily there, but the traits are there. Like the tools is all there for
Yeah.
Shamar Stewart to be a really
Just
good
pay
edge
him and
rusher.
figure out the roster later.
Exactly. Like who
Keep
cares?
your best players happy. Don't.
He
don't
was
anger 'em.
almost. He was this close to going back to college. Like that can't. You don't
That'd
ever
been
see that.
nuts. That would have been crazy.
He was away from the team. He was practicing with A&M.
Yep.
Like we were that close to seeing that happen. Like that's absurd. I can't even. When's the last time? Has that ever happened? Actually, like I don't even know.
I don't know. Probably not. I mean, maybe. I mean, the NFL's been around for a long time, but I mean, that's absurd.
Not
That's
anytime
obscure.
recent for sure.
Especially a first round pick.
Right.
Like normally teams are good on signing their players, especially their first round picks. At the end of the day, you got to keep your players happy, and the Bengals are not doing that.
For sure. I want to turn a little bit to your division before we get into more conversation and breaking down some other stuff. One team that's really intriguing me with their training camp to me is just the Vikings and watching J.J. McCarthy because I think, to me, I feel like J.J. McCarthy, there's a lot of pressure because of Sam Darnold last year and the success that he had, and he's going to be throwing to Justin Jefferson. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. J.J. McCarthy in Minnesota, it's so intriguing because it's so hit or miss, and he had the injury last year that really allowed Sam Darnold to start. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about JJ coming into this season. I think he's got a lot of pressure on him.
See, for me, it's I do think he has some pressure, but I don't think it's a ton because I mean, the Vikings are set up. You have one of the best offensive lines. You have one of the best receiving, the receiving core. You have Jordan Addison, you have Jay Jettis, and you have TJ Hawkinson. That is a great receiving duo and a great tight end.
Right.
And your defense is going to be really good again. They have Brian Flores back,
Yeah.
and that going to be blitzing like all hell, and that defensive line is going to be very, very good again. And Van Ginkel had Andrew Van Ginkel was one of the most underrated players in football. He was an All-Pro last year, and nobody talked about him. The Vikings one of the They won 14 games last year. Like, I think people forget that. They went
Hmm.
14-3. That
But they do
rarely
this a lot.
happens in the NFL.
I feel like they do this a lot where when they win a lot of games, they just
They
choke.
always lose in the first round. And
Yeah.
we kicked them to the curb because they were sorry and they didn't deserve to win the division. Because the Darnold thing, the Sam Darnold pissed me off so much last season. Like he's not that good. He's not. He was in a system that worked well to quarterbacks, and that's also why I think JJ doesn't. I think he has some pressure. Obviously, he's a rookie,
Well,
quote unquote rookie. This is his rookie season because it's his first time starting,
yeah.
and I think that with Kevin O'Connell, any quarterback's going to work out. I mean, they had Josh Dobbs, who is probably working for NASA now, like legitimately, which good for him, by the way. But he had them like going on an insanity run for 6 weeks.
Hmm.
I mean, he was absolutely unstoppable and did really good in fantasy, by the way. But Kevin O'Connell's he is arguably one of the best head coaches in football,
He
in
is.
my opinion,
And
because
Minnesota
he
has
makes everything work. And I
right.
know that obviously a few years ago that things kind of turned on a dime because Kirk Cousins got hurt, and they had to start what was his name? What was that backup that looked like his face was smushed in? He was an old Niners quarterback.
Nick Mullins.
Nick Mullins.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nick Mullins looked like the helmet was way too big for his face. He'd be throwing the ball and it'd be like this, and he would just be looking into the camera like this, and I'm like, dude, this guy looks stupid, and he was stupid throwing the ball, but he threw for a lot of yards. Um, it doesn't matter. Kevin O'Connell will make things work, and
Yes.
the Vikings, while I do think they will be solid, I do think they'll be good this year. I don't think they'll win the division.
No.
I think JJ is going to have some growing pains. I think there is a difference between him and Darnold. Darnold obviously has been in certain systems. He's been a backup. He's been a starter. He knows how things work. He went in and thrived in Minnesota. I
Yeah.
think JJ is going to thrive too, but you also got to give him a learning curve. You got to give him some time
Right.
because he's going to adjust. And while he's learned the playbook because he's been sitting for a year because of his injury, um, he's going to have to learn on the fly. He's going to have to learn NFL defenses. He's going to have to read NFL defenses when he starts, and it's way different on the playbook than it is on the field.
Yes.
I think the Vikings will be like a 9-8 team, 10-7. I think they have a shot to be a wild card team, but I don't think they're going to win
Right.
the division.
Thing is, I
I
feel
think
like
I think that the second best team is going to be the Packers.
that's fair. That's
And
fair.
I'm not going to hear this Bears bullshit. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the fucking Bears.
It's fair. That's fair. We're going to talk about the Bears coming up here because this division is the toughest division in football. I think we can
Yeah,
all agree. I
it
think
is.
just top to bottom, there's no division that compares to it right now. And that's why I feel like JJ McCarthy personally is under a lot of pressure. Just
Yep.
because, you're starting in the toughest division. You got the Lions, you got the Packers, you got the Bears. Granted, you can say whatever you want about Chicago. I
They're going to be
Chicago
better. They'll be better.
Chicago's got a lot of upswing on it, but thing is with Caleb Williams, you know, you never know. We got to see what
It
happens. He's been
all
struggling.
falls
He's
on
been
Caleb.
struggling in training camp. That's what the rumors have been out
Yeah,
there.
because Ben Johnson's having wide receivers and running backs throw the ball. Trust me, it was fun until it wasn't. Until Jamison Williams is throwing balls down 10 in the playoff game and throwing interceptions. It's fun until it's not. So the Bears fans will realize. I think Ben Johnson is going to be a disaster of a head coach. And it's not just because hatred, all that stuff. He's a good coordinator. He's a fantastic coordinator. I don't think he's going to be a good head coach, but that's just my opinion. I think that
Is
this
that is
training
that a
camp,
disgruntled Lions fan
if you
coming out of you?
get his flow, I've seen some of his press conferences. He was all bubbly and happy with the Lions. He was all like up and down. He looks tired. He looks
I
like,
have seen that. I
whoa,
have
I
seen
just
that. Yeah.
accepted $13 million a year. I'm the second highest paid head coach in football. What did I get myself into? While the Bears have talent on offense and some on defense, the schedule's really tough. They
Yes.
have a really hard schedule. All the North has a really hard schedule. Um, and that's what I think a big factor of this division is going to be. everybody plays tough teams in this division. They have the AFC North. The AFC North is still one of the toughest divisions in football. I will never chalk up the Steelers as an instant win, and even though I don't think Pittsburgh will be that good, but Mike Tomlin has voodoo magic, and being a Browns fan, you know it better than anybody. He always finds a way, no matter what. And
They
the
always got to be
Ravens,
9-8 and just lose in the first round every year. It just
yep.
makes no sense, man.
And the
I'm
problem
over
is
it.
you only score like 17 points, maybe, against him. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who he's throwing out there on defense. You'll score 17 points. But this division is going to be very, very. They're going to beat each other up.
Yes.
And the NFC North is going to beat the living hell out of each other. I think each. I think the. In my opinion, I think the Bears are going to finish last. I think they're going to go like 8-9. They might even have a winning record 9-8, because this division is going to be so tough that while I think they're all going to win games, because I think they're all good, solid teams. There's solid teams and good teams. The Bears, I have yet to see it because they're a brand new head coach, and I got to see it from Caleb Williams. And I also got to be, Ben Johnson's actually going to be a good head coach.
Yeah.
But
it's fair.
I
It is
know what I
fair
have
to
in the-
see.
I know what I have in the Packers. The Packers are always a tough team, every time. The Lions, you can say what they want about their coordinators. They have a top 5 roster in all of NFL. They have one of the youngest rosters in the NFL still. All their guys, for a majority, are still on their rookie contracts. Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch, Jameer Gibbs. Amon-Ra St. Brown is the only main guy who's gotten extended.
Right.
Penei Sewell is still on his rookie contract.
That's kind of crazy.
He's 24 years old and has been an All-Pro 3 times. I mean, it's felt like he's been in the NFL for forever. But anyway, and the Vikings, I think, are sort of in the same boat as the Lions. I think they also have one of the best rosters in the NFL. It's just the quarterback situation's a big question mark. And I think that with JJ, you're going to find that out really quickly if he's the guy or if he's going to flounder. And in the Bears, well, we'll see. They're the Bears.
Right.
So.
Right. The NFC North is going to be so much fun to watch.
It's going to be fun,
it's gonna
infuriating,
be
and stressful all at the same time.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yes, it is. Man, the Lions, I don't know, man. You lost both your offensive coordinator and your defensive coordinator. Both head coaches now.
Yep.
And, I mean, granted,
I think Aaron Glenn's going to be a good head coach.
I think Aaron Glenn's going to do fine.
I think he's going to be better than Ben Johnson. I think Aaron Glenn just... In the Jets, like if he has a winning record with the Jets, he'll get an extension.
He'll get an extension, or he'll get even another head coaching job at some point in his future after the Jets too. Because, I mean,
maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah.
The thing is, with your Lions,
you said what with my Lions?
The thing is with your Lions, I mean, you have the roster for sure. That's no question. Let's see how these new coordinators do. I think that's really the biggest question.
And I will say,
on paper, you might be the NFC favorite.
Yeah, we might be the NFC favorite, but we could also do what happened with the Philadelphia Eagles 2 years ago, to where their coordinators were atrocious. They had Matt Patricia as the defensive coordinator, and now he's the defensive coordinator of my favorite college team. So yay, fun me. But it could go to shit. Like, they could both be really bad. I think, John Morton, the offensive coordinator, has proven when he was with the Jets OC a few years ago, he had a top 10 offense with the Jets, with Zach Wilson.
Right.
But at the same time, it's been a few years. He was a tight ends coach for the Broncos last year. There's going to be some growing pains. But I think with how much weapons this offense has, I think they'll be fine. Now, if they go out and if they only score like 7 points against Green Bay, we might be in red flag territory, like, oh shit, what's going to happen? My big thing is going to be the defense with Kelvin Shepard, who was the linebackers coach last year. He's now the defensive coordinator. Apparently, Aaron Glenn was kind of grooming him to be the DC last year. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting on both sides of the ball, because the Lions came off of one of the best regular seasons they will ever have. They won 15 games.
That'll never happen again in your history.
I will probably
or in your future.
I will probably never see that happen again, because it's only happened 9 times in NFL history as a team won 5 games in the regular season. To be fair, most that's from 16-game schedule. It's now 17. But at the same time, it's still impressive as hell.
Yes.
And it probably won't happen again. But with them losing both coordinators, the Lions have the talent to do it. They're getting Hutchinson back, and obviously the D line is a little banged up outside of Hutchinson. They're going to get Aleem McNeil back probably in week 6, 7. They still got a few injuries, but at the same time, they have a majority of their roster coming back from what was arguably the most unlucky injury luck of all time on their defense. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, you were
Jamal
throwing out.
Adams was starting safety. We had Zach Cunningham
You were
in the
you're
linebacker position. We had Quan Alexander starting at the middle linebacker position for a playoff
you
game.
were throwing
It was
out Dunkin'
terrible.
Donuts and Raising Cane's employees in that
Yeah,
playoff
legitimately.
run for sure,
We cut
100%.
them right after the Commanders game because they sucked, and it showed. But I mean, what else are you gonna do? Your entire team was decimated. It sucked, but what else can you do about it?
Right? Don't necessarily have a
We would have
choice.
lost to the Eagles anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you would have. We know. Eagles were going to beat whoever was in their path
Yeah.
last season, man.
They were too good. They were way too
Since
good.
we're on the topic of NFL and training camp and everything, there's a lot of guys this season. They've got to prove some stuff. They got to go out on the field and prove some stuff. And we both have a list here. We got 5 guys with the most to prove this season in the NFL. Let's start from 5 to 1 and work our way down to who has the most that they need to prove this season. Starting at number 5 for me, simply because of the way the rookies played last season at this specific position room, I have to go with Marvin Harrison Jr. at number 5 because you had pieces like Brian Thomas Jr. coming into this season, over 1,200 yards receiving. You had Malik Neighbors, over 1,200 yards receiving. You had Ladd McConkey, 1,100 yards receiving. And Marvin Harrison Jr., the thing is, you're talking, he was the guaranteed lock, best player, best prospect in the draft class, some people were saying last year in 2024. And he had 880 yards receiving, 8 touchdowns last year. He needs to have a better season this year, and you make the argument it was a lot to do with Kyler Murray, and I think that a lot of it was. But I feel like Marvin Harrison Jr., he's just got to have a better year from the standards that people think he is. Specifically us as Buckeye fans, the expectation for Marvin Harrison Jr. was to be the clear-cut number 1 receiver out of this draft class, and he just wasn't last year. And I think he's got a lot to prove in this second year with a team in Arizona that has a good amount of expectation coming into this season as well, with a lot of additions that they've had, specifically on the defensive side of the ball, that should be a lot better than last year. So I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is number 5 for me.
Okay. Yeah, I can see it. There was a few, obviously, like him and Roma Dunze kind of had, kind of disappointing rookie seasons
both
as
of them.
wide receivers. But Marvin Harrison Jr. was like, okay, this guy's going to walk in and get 1,200 receiving yards. He's going to be the guy from Kyler Murray.
Right. People were talking like gold jacket kind of guy, right away.
Already out of the way. Yeah. So I can see that. There's a ton of guys. There's so many guys that have a lot to prove this year.
Yes.
Like I have all 5 quarterbacks because I think it's the most important position in football. It's where you get the most pressure.
That's fair.
And number 5, CJ Stroud's got to have a lot better year this year. He had a terrible year last year. And the Texans, while they had a decent season, Stroud was not the same as rookie year. And
No.
obviously, rookie quarterbacks have sophomore slumps.
Right.
Most of them do. But he's got to have a lot better year this year. Houston needs to rely on him because, they're ready to win now. The Texans are the best team in that division. They have a young future. They have a lot of young pieces. And that all hinges on CJ Stroud being that guy and taking that step. And that year 3 step that normally rookie quarterbacks take, he needs to take. This Texans team needs to go to the next level with him, and he needs to be a lot better. I love CJ Stroud, but he had a disappointing year last year. A lot of people expected a lot more from him after his amazing rookie year.
Yeah.
Where I think he was 24 touchdowns, 5 picks.
Yeah.
He was great.
Everyone was saying it was the best rookie season of all time, and then last year you just had Jaden Daniels basically just one up him and go to the NFC Championship. So
Jaden Daniels walked in like he owned the place.
Yeah. So but you're right. CJ Stroud, the sophomore slump was bad last year, and I feel like a lot of it had to deal with his offensive line being bad, and you've also had the injuries to their wide receiver core. I
And they
mean,
don't have Laramie Tunsil now.
they don't have Laramie
Laramie
Tunsil
Tunsil's
now.
on the Commanders.
And the thing is, kind of ironic, right? But I mean, Tank Dell's always been in and out the lineup with injuries, devastating injuries, So I just, for me with CJ, I think it does deal a lot with that offensive line. I don't know. It's not necessarily him, but you're right. He's got a lot to prove. He really does. And you're talking about a division that's, I mean, it's the worst in football. Like
Yeah, it
Houston.
is.
I think Houston can almost comfortably win that division.
Tennessee's terrible. The Indianapolis
Might
is
have
not
Daniel
good.
Jones be their starter over
Yeah,
Anthony
Indy's
Richardson.
not good. The Jaguars, they have some talent there. Maybe they can make a run at Houston, but this is Houston's division to win by a long shot.
It's really their division to lose.
Or to lose. Yeah, that's what
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's just no way,
Yeah.
And number 4 for me, this is a guy who fantasy draft people, they just love him. And he just never does it. And this
Kyle
year's
Pitts.
got to be the year, and it's Kyle Pitts, because
Yep.
here's some
I
stats
see
for
all
you.
the TikToks about it.
I mean, his rookie season, he was over 1,000-yard receiver. And
Yeah.
ever since, 2022, 28 catches, 356 yards, 2 tutties.
you
2023,
just can't draft him again.
53
right?
catches, 667 yards, 3 touchdowns. 2024, 47 catches, 602 yards, 4 touchdowns. The thing is, right, Kyle Pitts, I mean, he's also got 22 career drop passes. I mean, actually, let me rephrase that. My bad. 17 career drop passes.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got so many targets as well. 2022, like I said, 28 catches, 59 targets. 2023, 53 catches, 90 targets. 2024, 47 catches, 74 targets. You know what I mean? I mean, that could be quarterback play. I mean, we've seen Atlanta, be whatever with their quarterback play, but Michael Penix Jr. this year, I think, is going to really allow that team to be better. But Kyle Pitts, this is the year for him or else. I mean, he's the highest drafted tight end in the common draft era, 4th overall in
He got picked
2021.
4th.
It's his time. He's got to
The Falcons have had great young pieces. They just haven't utilized them. They got Bijan and they got Drake London along with Kyle Pitts.
This roster on paper for Atlanta
It's a top roster. It's one of the top rosters in the league.
Yeah.
Their defense is a little questionable, but their offense, those pieces they have, I mean, there's a lot of teams that would swap with the Falcons right now.
100%.
But it's about utilizing him. And Kyle Pitts, man, I'm gonna be staring at him in a fantasy
And
draft.
the thing is, though,
it's gonna kill me.
You and I are
to pick
both
him again.
You and I are both very, very high on Michael Penix Jr. And
Yeah.
the thing is, I think that switch from Kirk Cousins never really fit Atlanta to begin with. It just didn't make sense. And, I mean, money talks, BS walks. So, I mean, that's kind of what happened there. And he never should have left Minnesota, to be honest. That's all. Whole moot point. But we both are high on Penix Jr. I think this year for Kyle Pitts should be his best year. It should be. And if it's not,
we've said this
every year
for years now.
Yeah.
We've said this every year since 21. And it's like, I don't know if I can fall for it again. This is like year 4, 5, something like that.
Yeah, it's his 5th season now.
I can't draft him in fantasy. I can't, because I'm not going to fall for it again. I can't do it. My number 4, I have a guy who is coming off a very underrated rookie season, but had a lot going on around him. This team has a massive amount of hype around them, and it's going to be a ton of pressure on this dude to go forward with that, and that's Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams has a ton of pressure on him, and also does Ben Johnson. You can honestly put these guys hand in hand, and you're saying Ben Johnson's a first-year head coach. How can he have a ton of pressure on him? Well, he's talking a lot of, BS. He's talking a lot of shit, to be honest. He went into media days and winter meetings and all this stuff, talking about Jared Goff wasn't mobile, talking about his past experiences with the Lions. And now he has a good roster on paper, a good solid young roster, at least on offense. Defense has gotten a little older, but they still have some pieces like Montez Sweat. They went and got Grady Jarrett. But they really went after that offensive line because that was the biggest issue
Yeah,
for
big
the Bears.
time.
Um, and this is going to be obviously this is just year 2 for Caleb Williams. This dude has had the hype. They had the hype of generations last year. Like this was the guy. This was going to be the guy to get over 4,000 passing yards for the first time in Bears history. This is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And while he had a solid rookie year, I mean, he had a lot going around him. He had an interim head coach. He had Matt
Yeah.
Eberflus got fired. The Bears just flatlined
And
after a
then
while. But
earlier on this offseason as well, you also had the article come out that everyone kind of suspected about him anyway,
they want
trying
to
to
go to
not be to
Minnesota.
Chicago. He wanted to be in Minnesota. Yeah.
He wanted to go to Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota. I wouldn't blame him. Kevin O'Connell's a quarterback wizard. But the Bears have a ton of hype this year. A lot of media folks love the
Yeah.
Bears, picking the Bears to win the division, picking the Bears to go to the Super Bowl, all this stuff. Oh, the Bears, it's 85 all over again. 2006, here we come, except we're going to win it this year. It all falls on Caleb. If
It does.
Caleb is just average at best, this Bears team's going to get eaten alive. This division, you cannot BS in. This
No.
division, every single division game is going to be tough. And
Yeah.
if you are not the best that you can be, you're going to get killed. And especially this Bears schedule, who they have to deal with the NFC East and the AFC North. They got a very tough. I think they actually have the toughest schedule in football. I think they have, if not, it's top 3. Because I know the Lions have a top 3 toughest schedule, but I think they might be number 1. But anyway, he has a ton of pressure on him, man. And it would just suck to see him fail, wouldn't it? It would just suck to see him just fall on his face and Ben Johnson just sit there and be like, man, this sucks. Yeah, it does. It does.
It's all right. Caleb Williams, he definitely has a lot of pressure, and trust me, he's on my list a little later on down this list for me, actually. Moving on for me, number 3. This is a guy who far exceeded expectations last season. And to be honest, I think it's not necessarily the pressure of having to prove. It's more so, can it continue to get better? And this roster is now built to really compete for a Super Bowl. They've added everything around him. To me, Jaden Daniels has a lot to prove in year 2. You always talk about the sophomore slump. Does he have that? No one's talking about that. And like I said, you've added so many pieces to that roster to try and win now. Could they fall on their face? It's more the pressure to keep living up to what they've built now in Washington. So I feel like he's got a lot to prove in year 2 that last year was no fluke.
I agree. I think that Jane Daniels has to live up to it, and if he doesn't, then we're gonna have a CJ Stroud-esque type talk next year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's simple because most guys have sophomore slumps, but the best guys rise above it, and we'll see if Jane Daniels can do that. Number 3, this is a guy that I can never get a read on. It's a guy that has been a solid NFL quarterback, but a ton of people expected a lot more, especially for what he's getting paid.
I think I know who you're talking about already.
This is a guy who needs to step up big time. And while he's making big time money, he needs to make big time plays because he has pieces around him.
Yeah.
He is arguably the most exciting rookie of all time. And
Yep.
he needs to finally crack through because while they had a really good year too, with Doug Peterson, Trevor Lawrence has to step up at some point.
Yes.
Trevor Lawrence needs to be a lot better because while he's been a average quarterback, he's getting paid as one of the top NFL quarterbacks in the league. He's getting paid Joe Burrow
And the thing is, he's got that security from Jacksonville. You know what I mean? It's
he
like
does.
he's what was it,
while,
5 year,
like,
$275 million deal or something? Yeah.
He got his contract, but he needs to step up like big time, or else Jacksonville's going to be nothing.
Yeah.
And while this might not be pressure on the front office. I mean, they should have never given this dude $55 million. It'd be pressure on the fan base. It'd be pressure on Trevor Lawrence himself, because Jacksonville, they were the Texans a few years ago. They were that
Yes.
team in the AFC South after they beat the Chargers after being down 30-0. They came back and won that game. This was the team to mess with in the South, and they've done absolutely nothing since that. And while Trevor Lawrence got his money, they can easily just say, you know what? If you're not going to live up to it, we'll cut you. We'll trade you. Someone will take you.
Right.
Because Jacksonville with Travis Hunter is going to need a guy. And this
Yes.
is going to be a big year for Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars because Liam Cohen, he helped Baker Mayfield a lot.
Right.
He helped Baker a lot, turned into what he is in Tampa Bay. So this is a big year for Trevor Lawrence.
It's a massive year, and it'll be very intriguing to see how Travis Hunter is utilized this season as well. I mean, we didn't even really talk
Yeah.
about it for training camp wise because he's kind of gone through practices where
Is he really going to do offense and defense?
He is. They've had
in
him.
games?
So it seems like
That's
he's
gonna be
had some
nuts,
days
man.
offense. He's had some days on defense, and he's also had some days where they're trying to get him in situations to have both done in the same day, just so that way they understand it. It feels like Jacksonville's really in on trying to have him play both.
That's nuts. That's going to be a ton on him. He's going to be on that injury report a lot. I'll tell you that.
He definitely is. Moving on to number 2, just talked about him. To me, just Trevor Lawrence. I mean, he has to have a lot of pressure. His career stats: 69 touchdowns to 46 interceptions.
Not bad.
22
but-
career fumbles lost coming into this season, and last year, he dealt with injuries too. It didn't help.
He did.
He only played, I think, 10 or 11 games last year before he had I'm trying to remember if it was concussion or was it ankle. I'm trying to remember what his injury was. Can't think of it off the top of the head, but previous year was ugly. And last year, brutal. And
Yeah, the year after the
the thing is-
playoff game was terrible. Was
Yeah.
really bad.
and the hype around Trevor Lawrence coming in out of Clemson,
It was insane.
it was the best quarterback
It was
since Andrew Luck.
insane. Yeah, people were
Talk.
saying this is the next dude.
Yeah.
Kind of
And-
like with Caleb Williams last year. They were kind of saying the same thing. But like Trevor Lawrence had all this hype. And so did that draft class. That draft class has turned out to be horrendous. That quarterback draft class of Lawrence and
Yikes.
Zach Wilson and Mac Jones and
It's
Trey
crazy
Lance.
when Justin Fields is still the second best in that class.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yikes.
And I love Justin Fields
Not great.
as a Buckeye. But
Yeah.
with what he's done, Trevor Lawrence is still the best.
He hasn't lived up to the number 1 pick.
He is not.
He
No
has
one
not.
has
And while
lived
he's won a
up to
playoff
anything in
game,
that draft.
No. And while he's made that money, and congrats to him, but he's not living up to it.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And they're gonna move to London in like 5 years anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I feel like we've been saying that for like a decade about Jacksonville. It just
They're
never
gonna
has
do it
happened.
at some point. They, their owner Khan, he plays at least 2 games in London or 2 games overseas at least once a year or at least every year.
We
so,
said 2 games once a year.
yeah.
There you go. But yeah, to me,
all right.
number 2, Jack, is Trevor. He's got so much that he needs to prove that if he was anywhere else, he'd have already been pushed to the
He's been
curb.
gone.
Yeah.
All right, number 2, sort of in the same boat as Trevor Lawrence. This guy got his money, but at the same time, this fan base is starting to really turn on him. And if he doesn't have a good year this year, there's going to be some tough conversations because this not only is this player starting to regress mentally and physically, this entire team is starting to regress after having a solid year the past few years. Tua needs to step up. Tua got his money from the Dolphins, obviously, kind of like Trevor Lawrence. But Tua's hasn't been good. Tua has not been good. Tua has not only not been good, he's not been available. Tua's there was points where we thought this dude was going to retire. Because of the mental aspect that football's taken on him, these hits that he's taken to where he's had to go out because of brain injuries and head injuries. Not only is there pressure on Tua in the Dolphins, there's pressure on him. Is he going to retire? Because can he really be taking these hits even more? But this entire Dolphins team, you can throw McDaniels on. They need to step up because I think the Patriots are going to be better this year. I think they're going to be a lot better this year. The Bills are going to be the Bills, and I think the Jets are going to be better this year. And the Dolphins are kind of regressing. And it
They're
all
getting
starts
older.
with the situation.
Yeah.
Tua has been not good. He has not been good, and he has not lived up to the expectations. And there's a lot of Dolphins fans who want him gone. And I think this is the year to where he doesn't live up to this contract that he's making. And these guys are all making this money. It's nothing to do with their money. It's the fact of the pressure that this front office needs to have on them to make a decision on if they need to just bite the bullet or if they need to just continue and hope for the best and build around these guys. But Tua's got to be better. Tua's got to be a lot better.
As long as he's healthy, as long as he can actually play, doesn't get any more concussions.
Availability is availability.
Yeah, for sure. And the thing is, Miami, yeah, you're right. I mean, it just feels like they keep getting older every year. They don't really add a lot. I mean, they had a
And Mike
decent draft.
McDaniels is on the hot seat.
Oh, he is.
He's arguably on the hottest seat in the NFL.
Yeah, out of a scale of 1 to 10, he's probably at a solid like 8.5, I would think, because
Yeah,
it felt like they had their window and they just kind of blew it,
they blew it.
Because you have New England getting better, Drake May getting into year 2, and all the pieces they've added around that roster, specifically on the defensive
I think
side.
the Patriots might make the playoffs. I'm really high on New England this year.
New England might have
Mike
that.
Vrabel is a hell of a coach,
Yes.
and I think that he fits New England perfectly.
I mean, he was a player at New England under
Yeah, exactly.
Belichick, so
exactly.
I mean, it just makes too much sense. Plus, I mean, to me, I think New England has one of the best shots to go from worst to first. In reality, I think
I just don't think they beat the Bills. I think the Bills still own that division, but I think
they
New
do,
England.
but
I
they have
think
a
New
great
England-
shot to.
I think they'll finish second,
Yeah,
and I think they get close. They might even win 10 games
they
because
could.
New England has a last place schedule this year.
Right. They should go at least like 10-7 or close to it. The Jets, yeah, I think the Jets are going to be pretty good.
I think the Jets are going to be good. I think
Justin
Justin
Fields-
Fields is. I think Justin Fields obviously got hurt, but I think he's gonna. I think he's. We've been saying about this for Fields for a while. I don't think he's given his proper shot.
No, he definitely hasn't been. Bless.
With the Bears, he never had an offensive line, and he never had an offense really, and he didn't even have a head coach. And
Right.
in Pittsburgh, the games he did play before Russell Wilson came back, he looked really good.
Yes.
Really good.
And now he's throwing to his college receiver in Garrett Wilson. You know what I mean? I think something
love
like
it.
that
That's
is just
awesome.
going to allow to bring the best out of Justin Fields.
That's all. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I think Miami's kind of SOL. They've got to have at least a winning season, but it's highly unlikely that could happen. You never know. Thing is,
Yeah.
they still could go out and be second in the East, though. They could, in reality. But the problem is, it's just everyone else is just getting so much better around them too. Moving on here for me, for my number one is a guy. I mean, we've already talked about it. I think Caleb Williams has the most pressure out of anybody this year with everything that's happened with Chicago, adding Ben Johnson, the hype around him coming from Detroit, and just really the way the season ended last year. I mean, we got to talk about that Washington game. That derailed the rest of the season for Chicago. They were 4-2. They got out on a pretty good streak.
I think. I honestly think if the Bears win that game, Eberflus doesn't get fired. Because
Probably
I don't
not.
think the Bears go into a turmoil of what they lost like 10. I think they lost 10 straight.
Yeah, I mean
something like that. I
they
mean,
basically
the
lost
Packers
everything
were
except their last.
But yeah, I think that if they win that game, I don't think Eberflus gets fired because I think that while they don't lose that many games in a row, I think that they. I mean, they were looking good. The Bears were actually looking solid, and Tyreek Stevenson doing one of the stupidest things of all time. That's going to haunt Bears fans for a long time because that Bears team was solid.
Yes.
And while for the most part it's the same guys back, it's a new offense, it's a new defense, it's a new scheme, it's a new roster, it's a new everything. And there's going to be some growing pains. I agree. I think Caleb, like I said, I had Caleb Williams on my list. I think my number one, this dude is so overrated. This dude is arguably, and I know someone who you love dearly does not like this man.
Oh, I think I know what you're going to say.
My player that has the most pressure in the entire NFL, and who more than on America's team
Yeah,
is the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott.
they do.
Dak Prescott is getting paid $60 million a year. He was out for a majority of all last season because I think it was a knee injury.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a knee injury. He's coming back. Dallas still doesn't have a running back core because they don't have the money to do it, and Jerry Jones doesn't want to pay people like that. They
Right.
still haven't paid Mike Parsons, who needs his contract. And while they did finally give CeeDee Lamb his money, who else on that offense do they have besides him and Jake Ferguson?
Well, they got George Pickens in the trade.
Yeah, okay. Pittsburgh players from that are divas really work out in the end.
Yeah, they do. I mean, just look what Le'Veon Bell did with the Jets. That was a pretty good turn.
Look what Antonio Brown did when he went to Tampa Bay. He did win a Super
Tampa
Bowl,
Bay.
to be fair.
You're forgetting Oakland, and then you're forgetting New England for one game.
Yeah. One game.
You're telling me that it's not going to work out for George Pickens in Dallas after Dak Prescott overshoots him one throw. You know what I mean?
And that's exactly why he has the most pressure, because not only is he, Jerry Jones ain't getting any younger. He wants a winner, and
does he want a winner, or does he really just want a good product so he can make a profit? It's Jerry Jones.
I think a little bit of both. I do think Jerry wants to win, but at the same time, he's not going to win because Dak Prescott is his quarterback, and Dak Prescott has not only been one of the most hot and cold players in the NFL for a long time. He's not worth $60 million, and I don't think the Cowboys should have extended him.
The Brian Schottenheimer hire is just
it's baffling.
The worst hire. I mean, on paper, watch Schottenheimer somehow be like a decent coach, but I don't know. I've not heard good things out of training camp though for Dallas.
That's why there's a ton of pressure. I mean, you could throw Schottenheimer on there too. We could do coaches. I mean, this is. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on a lot of people at the end of the day.
There is,
because it's a big business. But I mean, when you're the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, you need to show up or show out. And Dak Prescott has shown out for a few years now.
For sure. And Dallas this year,
they're gonna suck. I'm gonna be completely honest. Dak Prescott, he might be solid this year. This Cowboys team is gonna suck. I think they win 6 games.
Is it bold for me? I feel like they could finish worse than the Giants.
Philadelphia is going to curb stomp Dallas on national television on the kickoff, and they'll do it again in Dallas. You also have Washington, who is better than you, and while you did beat them in Washington, they're gonna beat you twice. The Giants, I'll give you that. The Giants are gonna suck this year, but the one thing I will say about the Giants, their defensive line is arguably one of the best in football, and your offensive line is not great. Your offensive line is not what it was 4 years ago.
No. I mean, that defensive line, I mean, you're talking, you got Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns. I mean, Thibodeau, you can kind of say hit or miss, but Abdul Carter just drafted.
Yeah.
I mean, and Darius Alexander, our Toledo Rocket as well,
They're gonna be nasty, man. But
they are.
The Dak Prescott, he better shape up.
He's got to. I mean, there's no other way to put it.
And it might not even be Jerry. I think it'll be the entire fan base who turns against him, who haven't already. I mean, I know your father doesn't really care for Dak Prescott.
No.
The Cowboys fans that still believe in him will turn on him this year if he's not as advertised.
Right.
Because he's paid $60 million. He's the top paid quarterback, top paid player in the NFL. You got to play like it. He has not.
Dak Prescott is just maybe the most overrated quarterback we've ever seen. No, I'm just kidding. But honestly,
he's overrated.
$60 million for Dak Prescott.
What has he won exactly?
Baker Mayfield has, I think, the same amount of playoff wins in one.
I'd take Baker over Dak Prescott in a heartbeat.
Baker has played his way to being a borderline top 10 quarterback again.
We can just play. We can just 1 point play the game. Or would you take this guy over Dak Prescott? Most of them, I'll say yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'd take Jared Goff over Dak Prescott.
Yep.
I'd take Baker Mayfield over Dak Prescott. I would take Geno Smith over Dak Prescott.
I don't know about that one.
Geno Smith, while might not have the passing ability, he's mobile. And Geno Smith, when he's on, he is great.
I don't know, man. It also took Geno like 11 years before he could really get his footing back in the
He
NFL.
never got a shot.
He got a shot.
He never got a shot. Like Baker. Baker, I mean, he went to Cleveland and then he got hurt with his shoulder injury. He went to the Rams and then he got a shot in Tampa and he took that shot and he got a contract.
It's fair.
Some
It's a
guys
fair
just
point.
take longer than normal. Kurt Warner was like 29 or
Kurt
30
Warner
when he
was
got
a
signed.
was a grocery bagger. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And turned into a Super Bowl. I mean, greatest show on turf, and then took the Cardinals to their only Super Bowl too. I think a lot of people forget about that. Yeah, man. Dallas. I wouldn't be shocked. Wholeheartedly, I would not be shocked by the end of the season if Dallas is actually last in the NFC East. I wouldn't be shocked if the Giants finish ahead of them. And it's only because of just the drama that Dallas is. You know what I mean? And they got to pay Micah Parsons, and it just feels like they're not going to pay him.
I would love that. Seeing the Cowboys finish last in that division would cause an uproar, and it would be amazing to watch that place just burn down to the ground.
What a beautiful stadium AT&T Stadium is, though. It's one of the best. It's pristine.
It's pretty, but it's got no atmosphere.
It doesn't.
It's like a federal building in there. It's so massive. There's no. I mean, you can't even. There's no crowd noise because of how massive it is.
It is beautiful. You can see it like 20 minutes away. It's huge. It's like its own spectacle. It's crazy. It's beautiful though. Let's switch over to college football to wrap up our conversation tonight, though. We're gonna do the same thing here, but with coaches in college football. And this college football season for me, just as a diehard college football fan, just looking at it, this one's kind of hard to judge coming into the season because there's a lot of question marks. I mean, reigning champs in Ohio State, you lost a lot of talent from that roster, but you got your two best players in Caleb Downs and Jeremiah Smith back in Texas as well. I mean, the talk about Arch Manning and the hype around him. Those are the two betting favorites coming into this season. You've got Penn State, who a lot of people are high on because they're doing the Michigan and Ohio State thing of 23 and 24, are keeping all their pieces, stealing Jim Knowles from Ohio State. You've got teams like Clemson, who have a lot of pieces coming back as well. Cade Klubnik is on the rise. You have other teams like LSU who think it could be their year. You've got other schools out there. I think there's a lot of question marks coming into the season for college football. Georgia with Gunnar Stockton. I mean, Georgia's Georgia. Bama's Bama. I mean, there's a lot at stake this season for college football. And I think that this year might be one of the better ones in a long time, just because there's a lot of question marks. Granted, we're going to get to like week 8, week 9. We'll be like, yeah, these are the set in stone teams. But it's kind of up for grabs a little bit.
I think it's just wide open. I think it's just a wide open season. I don't think that there's this number one by by a mile team. I don't think that there's this number one, this is the best team and it's not close. I think you have really good teams like Texas and Clemson and Penn State, and then you have teams that are just a tier below that are really good, or just below those elite. In Ohio State and Alabama, teams like that who have stuff to prove because they lost a lot. We'll see. It's going to be a fun season.
This season. Then there's other schools that have a lot to prove that feel like they could be on the same tier. You got schools like South Carolina, like Florida, Illinois, and some of the Big 12 schools like a Texas Tech think they have enough. You know what I mean? There's a lot at stake this season. And I mean, there's a lot of coaches that are on the hot seat. There's a lot that have a lot to prove. And I'm going to start with a number 5 for me is Kalen DeBoer at Alabama. I mean, you're replacing the GOAT. You know what I mean? No one, he is in the toughest position we have ever seen a college football coach in, having to replace Nick Saban after the absolute reign he had on the sport. Better than anyone. Better than Bear Bryant had. More titles than anybody. I mean, the atmosphere at Alabama. I mean, he went 9-3 last year. Citrus Bowl lost to Michigan. I mean, the fans will be calling for him. If Bama has another down year, I don't see him getting fired again because Kalen DeBoer's a winner. He's 113-16 in his head coaching career across all divisions in football. I mean, he has proven it every single stop he's been at. You got to think about it like the Bama fans have to sit back and relax. Like Nick Saban
They
just
can't. That's all
retired.
they have to look forward to.
I mean, it's
There's
fair. We're
nothing to
talking
do
we're
in
talking the
Alabama except
Southeastern
watch
Conference. Yeah.
Alabama.
I mean, SEC
Rotate.
fan. I mean, they run the sport really. SEC fans do at this point. That's not true, but they really do.
Yeah,
I
it
mean, the
just
last
means
20
more
years.
down south.
I mean, it always
That's
has. It doesn't mean
that's
anything up
what
in the
all I hear.
Midwest.
Yeah.
But to me, Kalen DeBoer. I mean, he's under so much pressure. I mean, just thinking about that. Just think. Say if you're a head coach, Spencer, right, and you get the offer to replace Nick Saban to be the guy
I'm
to
not
follow.
doing it.
Exactly.
I'm not doing it. I'm going to be honest. I think Kalen DeBoer should have stayed at Washington. I think that he could have built that program up, and I mean that there's not even because like it will. And I will say this: I have Kalen DeBoer at 5 too. We have the same number 5. I completely agree with you. Because being the head coach of Alabama comes with a ton of pressure as it is.
Yes.
Because all you know is excellence. Um, and succeeding Nick Saban, who is your greatest head coach of all time. I mean, they've had Bear Bryant and Nick Saban, so they've had a ton of established coaches. But Kalen DeBoer has to win or at least make the playoffs this year. And if he doesn't make the playoffs 2 straight years, I don't think he gets fired. But I think there will be talks about something like, okay, next year, like he has this year and next year. If he doesn't make the playoffs or if he doesn't win the SEC, I don't know, man. I mean, they don't take they don't take. I don't think Alabama can take losing like this. And I know they went 9-3 last year. I don't think Alabama can take not making the playoffs because to them they are the best. And while they
Right.
are one of the top programs, top upper echelon, they are a blue blood in college football. Um, you know, I don't know how good they're going to be this year. I think they'll be good. They will always be good because they get the recruits. I don't see them beating Texas. I don't, Ole Miss is going to be really good. I think Texas A&M can be good. A lot of people like Florida. I'm not one of those guys. South Carolina, I think, is going to be good this year. Georgia, always with Kirby Smart. You can trust Kirby Smart will make the playoffs, especially with 12 teams. The SEC is going to be tough this year. It's always tough. And Kalen DeBoer's got to put up or shut up.
Right.
Like, Alabama's not going to take it.
The thing is about Alabama this year that I really like, and I think that Alabama's going to be just fine, is they also are bringing back a lot of guys that easily could have gone to the draft last year. They're kind of like Penn State light. They've returned a lot of pieces on that roster, and they're doing a similar thing. And it's just not to the same, like I said, not to the same scale as Penn State where they're returning
It's not
everybody.
star players.
But they've got a lot of pieces coming back. And Ty Simpson's probably going to be their starting quarterback coming into this year. I mean, you still have Ryan Williams outside of Jeremiah Smith, the other best wide receiver in college football. I mean, Alabama's going to be fine. They have the best tackle in college football in Caden Proctor. So, I mean, they still got pieces on that roster. And to me, I think they'll be just fine. You know what I mean?
But it's
Bama.
just fine okay at Alabama.
For where you got to think about. I understand what you're saying. It's really not fine, but it has to be because we're talking about.
I don't think they can take that. Like,
that's fair.
Ohio State fans, when Urban Meyer left in 2018 due to health reasons, Ryan Day took over and we all expected greatness because not only was he bringing in a great roster, we expected them to win the Big Ten to go, and he did. He went 13-1. I mean, they lost in the semifinals, but they made the playoffs. And it took Ryan Day a long time to gain the respect of Ohio State fans because of what he can't beat Michigan.
I mean, he just got it. He just got the respect.
That trust back. He got that trust back. And, well, you got to beat Michigan at some point. Like, you win a natty, that's great. That's what we want. You also got to beat Michigan at some point. You can't lose them every year.
Right.
But anyway, with Alabama, I don't think that's okay. I don't think going 9-3 is okay. Just like I think at Ohio State, it's not okay to go 9-3.
Right.
There is pressure put on you on these programs, these upper echelon programs, to where you can't
lose a game. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And
You-
I think that was with Ohio State. It still is. It's with Alabama. It used to
right.
be with Michigan back when they had respect and didn't cheat. It's back, Georgia, you can say
Yeah.
that is, even Clemson. But even then, Clemson went 9-3 last year in the regular season. They won the ACC. They won something and they made the playoffs. Texas for a long time was not great, and they fired head coaches 2 years into 10 years because they couldn't get off the ground. Now they did with Steve Sarkisian. These blue bloods will not take settling for 8-4, 9-3,
No.
and I think that they
Yeah.
want to get best because not only are they the best programs in college football, if they bring in the most money, and if they're better, they'll bring in more money. And I mean, obviously, that's what matters to, the people who are in charge of NIL and who are these boosters who are giving them the money, and you know, whatever you want to call them, the GMs of these college football teams that they call it now. I don't think they're going to take that. I think that Kalen DeBoer, he's not going to get fired this year unless he like goes 6-6. But like if Kalen DeBoer goes 9-3, he's not going to get fired, obviously. But he has a ton of pressure on him to after last season not making the playoffs. Because when Nick Saban didn't make the playoffs, you're like, okay, that was a tough year. We're making it for sure next year. Nick Saban doesn't take that. When they went 10-2 a few years ago, they made the playoffs the next season.
Right.
When Nick Saban doesn't make the playoffs, he makes it the next season. Hell, he wins a natty. Like Nick Saban gets close to it, if not wins it all.
Yes.
Kalen DeBoer has to get to that. And while he does win at everything, he won at Boise State. He established Boise State after Chris Peterson left, and then took over Washington, flipped them on a dime, and made them go all the way to the national championship. Now he has to take over Alabama, who is arguably the toughest job in all of sports to coach for. Because if you lose more than 2 games, the entire fan base will be on you.
It's fair. But I also think the fan base has to realize the situation in some
They're
way.
not smart enough to.
You know what I mean? Like
They're
you
not
have
smart
to
enough
realize
to.
the situation. For the record, when we get our playoff predictions ready, and I think Bama's going to be in the playoff. I think Bama's good enough. I think this roster is good enough.
I do too. I think
And-
the board will get it this time.
And the thing is, even then, we'll have to see prediction wise, but I mean, making the playoffs should be just fine, And the thing is, they just have to realize just the scale. Like I don't think I don't think these fans realize like replacing Nick Saban, that's a tall task. And Kalen, I mean, that's the tallest task anyone's ever had.
But after you
genuinely.
come from that, you just want that to keep going.
Right.
You want that to continue. Ohio State fans wanted to continue with Ryan Day after Urban Meyer left. So, I mean, after you see greatness for so long, all you want is for it to just be followed up with more greatness.
And see-
sometimes you get it.
Right.
Sometimes you don't.
I think this year could have been the biggest blessing for Bama fans because I think Ohio State had this problem for a long time, and that's a reason why the Michigan game's been an issue is complacency. I think Bama just got so used to the lore of Nick Saban and being so good for so long. And to be honest, everyone said their environment was affected by it. They said this year was maybe the best environment they've had in a long time simply because of the fact of the what-ifs that they hadn't had in a long time because Nick Saban not being there anymore. Ohio State got too complacent with the Ohio State-Michigan game.
Yeah.
And now it's been a problem that they've had to get over, and they still haven't. So I think it's very similar. And Ohio State, atmosphere-wise, too, because they're so good all the time, have those issues with their atmosphere. Big Noon don't help, but that's a whole different conversation for a different day. But
yeah.
I think that's a whole problem with Bama is just complacency, and they've been so used to being so good. I think that's been their biggest problem. I'm gonna move on here to number 4. For me, this guy, I mean, he went back to his alma mater a few years ago, and it just hasn't necessarily worked out so far. He's had moments, and he's had some guys, specifically last year, it just felt like he was going to have a Heisman Trophy quarterback. The problem was no defense at all. In this program, they have another transfer portal quarterback coming in this year who was not that good last year and is really trying to change the narrative around his name. Number 4, Mario Cristobal in Miami. They've got a lot to prove. He's 22-16 in his career at Miami. They've lost all their wide receiver room pretty much from last year. Their main guys, Xavier Restrepo, he's going with Cam Ward in Tennessee. Jacoby George is gone. Isaiah Horton's gone. You've got young guys who's got to step up, and Josiah Trader. C.J. Daniels, LSU transfers coming in. They've got Keelan Marion, BYU transfer coming in. Another guy, Tony Johnson from Cincinnati. Their wide receiver room's completely revamped coming into this season. They still have Mark Fletcher, the running back, who's really stud, former Ohio State recruit before flipping to Miami. They've got a lot to prove. Him going from Oregon to Miami, like I said, trying to go back to his alma mater, really, to try and fix it. It's kind of a Scott Frost situation with UCF and Nebraska. And I've noticed that a lot recently, with the exception of Kenny Dillingham at Arizona State. Guys going back to their alma maters hasn't really worked out recently. And having Carson Beck coming in this year for Miami, there's a lot of hype around Miami because of Carson Beck being there. And, it's really a good second chance for him. But Cristobal's got to get something going. And this year, the way Clemson's hyped up, Florida State's going to be much better than 2-10 this year. I don't know how good they'll really be, but they're not. You can't be any worse than what they were last year. And Thomas Castellanos is a very good quarterback. So
I think Georgia Tech is also another team that could be a dark horse. I really think Georgia Tech can be really good this year.
Yeah. SMU I don't see falling off a cliff either, really.
Yeah.
Kevin Jennings is back. He had the lights were brighter than expected moment in Penn State, but it's SMU, they're really coming back from the depths of hell that they were put in the 80s, you know what I mean? So
exactly, and they made the playoffs, and that was really cool for them.
Right,
it's the first time in the playoffs. So you got shown up by a really good Penn State team. Come back next year and come back harder. So yeah, I agree. I think that Mario Cristobal has a lot of pressure. I think that with Miami, they sort of get complacent. Because they still hold on to what used to be in the U. And the problem is he recruits. He uses the transfer portal.
Great recruiter.
And I think that's the one thing that's going to keep him there is that he's a great recruiter. It's just the thing that they got to win at some point. They had the number one overall player they had the number one overall pick last year in Cam Ward, one of the best transfer portal pickups. A guy that I wanted on Ohio State, and I said before he went, but I'll take a natty. Thanks, Will Howard. But it's got to accumulate to playoffs. They did go 10-2 last year. We can't take that against them. That's a good season, but they didn't make the playoffs. They were one game away from making the ACC title game if it wasn't for Kyle McCord going off for Syracuse and Miami choking that away.
Right.
They've come close. It's just that they need to finally push through. They need to make the playoffs. There's been Miami teams the past decade when that one year Miami went 10-0 and they were just cruising and then they just fell apart. Miami has done this before.
Yes.
And they need to even with Manny Ramirez, they did this thing with him, but they need to finally get this right, because while I don't think Mario Cristobal will get fired, they're going to have to put pressure on him at some point, because the problem is he recruits. And if you recruit really well, you're going to get a longer tenure than normal.
Right. That's fair. And also the thing is with Miami, like you said about
Manny
they hold
Diaz,
on.
It's not Manny Ramirez, by the way.
Yeah, Manny Diaz.
That's a baseball player. I always have my mind on baseball. So
Manny Diaz, I think he's the Duke head coach now, if I can remember correctly. I believe he's there. Yeah, he is. He's the head coach at Duke. But he was Penn State's defensive coordinator last year.
Penn State's DC, yeah.
But the thing is with Miami, besides just Mario Cristobal, like you said, the fans, they kind of hold on to what they've had. To be fair, every fan base does that. You know what I'm saying? But they've got a lot of issues because their stadium's an hour away from campus.
That's
they're playing at Hard Rock. They need to bring back the
never
OG.
have an atmosphere.
They need to bring back the OG Orange Bowl. That's what they should have done. You know what I mean? And their facilities are just as bad, if not worse, than Ohio State's. They're very. They're just not good. Miami does not have good facilities either. they've just got a lot of issues that they need to fix there at Miami. I mean, they can still recruit because it's Miami. People want to play in Miami, and there's a lot of talent.
Exactly.
There's a lot of talent that no longer leaves Miami because of Mario Cristobal either. So they're able to keep the homegrown talent that they
It sucks though
didn't
that
in
your
the mid
best recruit
2010s.
of all. It sucks though that your best recruit of all time didn't go to you.
It does suck, doesn't it?
He went to Columbus.
He did go to Columbus. Beautiful
Yeah,
Jeremiah Smith.
he's gonna be man. That's another is another conversation.
Oh,
I don't
don't
think
even get me
I
started.
don't think college football fans realize how insane this dude is, but we'll get to that later because we gotta keep going. Number 4 for me is a guy that's coming into his first year, and I just think that there's been so much drama to where this is either going to, shit's gonna either hit the fan or it's gonna work. Bill Belichick at North Carolina. I mean, with his drama with his girlfriend and recruiting and all the stuff that North Carolina is going through, I mean, there's going to be so many eyes on him to actually do good at North Carolina.
Yes.
To where this is either going to be an absolute disaster or it's gonna work. I think it's going to be an absolute disaster, but that's just me. I think there's way too much going on at UN. I think there's just too much drama with him and
Too
his
much of his
girl.
life.
Yeah, it's hey, go get your money, I guess. But
He can really get his money if he buys out and goes to the NFL again.
and maybe that's what happens. Maybe Bill Belichick has a good year at UNC, and maybe he's just using this to maybe get back in coaching for a few more years. But he's also really old. I think he's like 74. Like he's getting. I mean, Pete Carroll. To be fair, Pete Carroll got hired by the Raiders, and he's coaching them for a few years. Maybe Bill Belichick wants to get back into the ring, but I just think it's going to be a mess at North Carolina. I also think that I also don't think that UNC is going to be any good, to be honest. I don't think they have a great roster, and they don't recruit as well. They
Right.
didn't get a great recruiting class. They didn't really attack the transfer portal as much as you'd like them to. And there's just so much going on the outside with Belichick and his girlfriend, and it's also Bill Belichick. So eyes are already going to be on you as it is to push through,
Yeah.
and maybe UNC goes 6-6, which is honestly a good year for him. But like, it's something like, is Belichick really going to last here? Is this really going to be like a 4-year tenure, or is this going to be a 1 year and health reasons I have to leave? Or is it
Right.
going to be 1 year to where he maybe has a good year at UNC and goes 8-4 at that school, and he goes to the NFL because NFL teams are going to hire him. He's Bill Belichick. He's one of the greatest head coaches of all time. I don't know. That's one of the storylines I'm really intrigued about this college football season is how Bill Belichick and North Carolina do. Because their first game is on ESPN. And they're getting a lot of primetime games because people want to see Belichick, people want to see his team.
Yeah.
And if they suck, if they are bad, that is going to cause a shitstorm. That is going to cause, I mean,
It's giving Deion Sanders in Colorado vibe a little bit when he first
yeah,
got there. You know what I mean? It
yeah.
just like if he's
Except Bill Belichick doesn't have his son to quarterback the team.
no, he just has a girlfriend who's 55 years younger than him. That's the problem. Not 55.
who
That's a
who
bit
may,
of a stretch, but
maybe she's controlling the team. Maybe you'll see
maybe
her in
she's
the
the real
sidelines. I
coach. You
don't know.
know, you never know.
Maybe she's the OC. I don't know.
All right, man. I mean,
But
North
yeah,
Carolina just that whole situation. I can't even lie. I can't name one player on their roster right now, and that's not good for me.
neither can I.
So
I
I'll have
know
to
a
dig.
Buckeye or decommitted from Ohio
Jacob
State went to New York.
Witherspoon, yeah, the
Yeah,
kid from I think
so,
Avon, yeah, he flipped to North Carolina.
you have fun with that.
For me, here at number 3, it's another coach who is at his alma mater, and they haven't necessarily gotten over the hump here recently. And I mean, historically, as a program, they have the second most wins since 1975, the last 50 years of college football, behind Ohio State. This is a program who last year, their quarterback situation, not good. And they probably had that quarterback benched way too early in the process and took away his confidence. And now he's at another school in the same conference hoping to help them out. But this coach brought in an OC quarterback duo together to try and make it come back together. Brett Venables is my number 3 coach. Oklahoma's got a lot to work
Yeah.
on. And the thing is, this year, they could be a sneaky team in the SEC. John Mateer, really good. I mean, he's coming in. He had 29 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. That's a great touchdown-interception ratio.
At Washington
65%
State,
completion.
right?
Yep. Washington State. And they brought in the OC and Ben Arbuckle to be the OC with them. So, I mean, they've got a lot on their plate. In Oklahoma, in reality, I mean, they're on the same tier in reality with Ohio State and Alabama because they need
They're
to
a
be
blue
good all the
blood.
time. They're a blue blood. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Oklahoma's a blue blood. They have so much history, and they haven't won a natty since 2000 though.
They have
So
not.
it's been a while, and I agree. I have Brent Venables at 3 as well. I think that he's been there since 2000 or 2022,
Yeah.
and it's been a few years of just it hasn't been good for Oklahoma. It's been like 6-6 or like average every year, and they need to get it. He needs to get it right. And while I do think if he ever gets fired, he will get a DC job right off the bat because he's just a great defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just not a good head coach. And that's something that some coordinators who turn to head coaches, it happens to them. But this is a year for Oklahoma. We're going to learn a lot about them in week 2 against Michigan because that's a really good matchup
It's
at
in
home.
Norman, too. Yeah.
It's in Norman. It's at home. So that's going to be a really good matchup for them. And John Material, another SEC quarterback that a lot of people are hyped about, that Oklahoma is going to be this great team, that they're going to finally push through and make the playoffs with Brent Venables. I got to see it because Oklahoma has been nothing but a disappointment with Venables at the home so far. And John Mateer, while he was good at Washington State, how's he going to do at Oklahoma? Which is a ton of more pressure than
in that SEC gauntlet schedule, you know.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
Pullman, Washington is a whole lot different than Norman, Oklahoma.
I mean, I think they might be similar in capacity, but other than that,
Football-wise,
it's a lot different. Hey, at least Washington State still has the dual goalposts. Okay, that's one thing they got going.
Nobody gets out of Pullman alive.
You would think they would need that in Norman, Oklahoma, with all the tornadoes they get down there, but they don't. But yeah, to me, Oklahoma, man, Brett Venables has been able to completely flip that program around, being defense first. And I mean, with the whole Jackson Arnold situation last year and benching him, and Michael Hawkins Jr. playing pretty much half the season, it's like they really did something to Jackson Arnold. He's going down to Auburn. By the way, some people think Auburn could also be a team that bounces back this year if Jackson Arnold plays good. The problem is his confidence. I mean, that was shot at Oklahoma. He's going to have to find it again.
Yeah, he wasn't good.
And you're talking, he was the number 1 quarterback. He was like elite 11 camp MVP coming out of high school.
5-star everything, all that.
5-star.
Yeah,
I mean,
high
it
praise.
just, he's got to really find it at Auburn. But with Oklahoma, this is the year. If Brent Venables does not go, I would say 8-4 or better. I mean, Oklahoma's loyal. Their fans are very high on Venables, but they're going to start switching. They're going to start switching here. If he's an Oklahoma guy, and he's got to do it. He's got to do it this year.
Yeah. So real quick, before we get to our top 2, are your top 2 Big Ten coaches?
Yes, they are.
I think we have 4 out of 5, to be completely
Yes, they
honest.
are. And it's funny because I think if one guy didn't have certain things going for him this year, I think the other guy would be number 1. So
It's weird not seeing Ryan Day on this list, to be completely honest.
it feels good to not see Ryan Day on this
Yeah, I
list.
know, right?
If he didn't win a natty, he would be on this list.
He'd be number 1 with a bullet. There'd be a whole section for him.
Yes,
on
there.
number 1.
Yeah, we would have to do a whole episode on that alone.
Yeah. There was a lot going on after the Michigan game.
Yeah, there
I
was.
said a lot of things.
Yeah, it's okay.
But,
it's okay.
yeah.
We've seen a lot.
He made
of
up
things.
for it. He made up for it, and so did Will Howard. So,
Will Howard definitely made up for that Oregon debacle.
yeah.
And that awful performance against Michigan. But my number 2 is a guy who ditched the last program for Los Angeles, California.
Yep. Lincoln Riley.
And he's gone 26-14 at USC. And he's lost a lot of guys on this roster. Miller Moss is now at Louisville. You had Zachariah Branch leave for Georgia. Deuce Robinson is now at Florida State. Their offensive line needs a lot of help this season. I mean, and every year it's gotten worse and worse and worse. I feel for. Do I feel for Lincoln Riley? I kind of don't.
No, he makes a ton of money. Why would you feel bad for him?
That's fair.
He's
He got blessed going to Los Angeles.
He's a multi-millionaire who lives in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for Lincoln Riley.
Why would anyone feel bad for him? He's made his money at Oklahoma.
Here's the thing: USC is that kind of school that they will fire him this year if things don't drastically improve.
Yeah, I see. I never understood the move. Why he went from Oklahoma to USC. Because he had such a great thing going on at Oklahoma. He had that program winning Heisman's, going to the playoffs. And while he never did win a natty, I mean, they won the Big 12 every single year. I mean, they were always competing. And Lincoln Riley's got he needs to get going badly. If USC is not good this year, USC is one of those programs. They're another blue blood to where they'll fire you. I mean, they fired Clay Helton 3 years into his tenure, like he was terrible. He was all 3 years.
He was bad. He was pretty bad.
Yeah, and Lincoln Riley's getting to that point. What did they go? They went
7-6 last year.
Yeah. That's not acceptable at USC. Not even in the slightest. No. They need to be
specifically
going
with
for
the
playoff.
I mean, you're talking Lincoln Riley, who at Oklahoma would go like 11-1, 10-2 at worst
every year, and he'd be winning the Big 12 every year. Yeah. And even on down years, they would still win the Big 12.
To give him the benefit of the doubt for last year, I don't think record-wise they showed flashes.
They had a lot of close games. They should have won that Michigan game on the road.
They should have beat Penn State at home.
They should have beaten Penn State at home. They let 2 of those games slip away.
That's their biggest problem. And this year, I think they will, personally, I think they're going to take a little bit of a step forward. Because I think Jaden Maeva is going to be a much better quarterback than Miller Moss in that system. I mean, they have still wide receivers. They got Jacoby Lane. They still got Mekhi Lemon. They got the Eli Sanders kid from New Mexico who was Devon Dampier's running back down there for the Lobos, who was a 1,000-yard rusher and 10-plus touchdowns.
Shout out he was a fun player to play with in NCAA 25. When I did my New Mexico rebuild, he was really fun to play with.
So, I mean, they've got pieces still on that team. The biggest question, that offensive line depth is not there. That's their biggest concern coming into this season. And, I mean, their defense, it should be pretty good this year. I mean, but we're talking Lincoln Riley defense, but this one should be maybe the best he's had on paper anyway. So I feel like USC is kind of destined to take a step forward this year. But if it doesn't happen, and see, here's the problem, right? When I look at the Big Ten on paper coming into this year, it's very reminiscent of last year with the SEC, because I feel like we had this conversation earlier. I feel like both conferences have a good chance to implode on themselves this year. I think both of them do. And I think you could have a team like USC be better than they were last year and maybe finish with the same record just because of schedule. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think Washington's going to be better. I think Iowa might be a little better.
UCLA is going to be a little better. I don't think they'll be great, but I think with them getting Nico, I think they'll be a little better. It's also year 2 with their head coach. I couldn't even tell you his name, but
Deshaun Foster, I think, if I can remember correctly. I think it's Deshaun Foster.
Dude that had a weird introductory press conference last year. The Big Ten's going to be very good. The Big Ten's going to be good for a long time. So is the SEC. They're going to be the 2 battling it out. But yeah, Lincoln Riley's number 2, and number 1. I think we can. It's James Franklin.
It's Keegan Michael Key. Okay, that's who it really is.
Yeah, it's Keegan Michael Key. Shout out that Lions fan. And I'll be honest, the thing I said about Ryan Day with a bullet, this is James Franklin. To swap out James Franklin or to swap out Ryan Day for James Franklin, this has to be the year. I mean, this Penn State BS to where we'll go 10-2 every year, but we'll just not win the Big Ten. We won't win any games, that anybody cares about. We'll lose to Ohio State every single year. We'll lose to Michigan every single time we play them. Every big game they lose. And I will give James Franklin some credit. He did go on a little playoff run, and they should have beaten Notre Dame. If Drew Aller's moronic throw just crossed his body in the middle of the field. That was a stupid play
Yeah.
and a stupid decision from him, and it cost them their season. And I mean, honestly, I put Drew Aller and James Franklin. I know we're doing just coaches. This is Drew Aller's too.
Yes.
I mean, I've been told on the Drew Aller hype for years, and every single time he plays, and especially when I
I've
see
kind of
him play
rode that
against
train myself.
Team
I know.
Ohio State, yeah, he's
I
terrible.
I'm pretty
He was
certain
horrendous against the Buckeyes last year. That defense
it's
made
awful.
him look like a bottom 5 FBS quarterback. He was terrible. Every single time I see him play, he looks awful.
He was bad.
And I know,
He
I
was
know
bad
Ohio
against
State.
SMU.
Yeah, and I know and I know that OSU had a great defense, but like he looked terrible. And then he made bad decisions, and he shouldn't as a junior. You are experienced. You should be at the top of your game.
Yep.
And at this point, Penn State needs to get it right. If it is not this year, it's never going to be any year. This is the best chance Penn State will have. And it's not close.
Yes.
They won't have this team again. They won't have this running back duo again. And while they did lose Abdul Carter, they got almost everybody back.
They still have
Almost
Denai
everybody
Sutton.
in that defense, almost everybody in that offense,
Yeah.
except Tyler Warren and Abdul Carter. Everyone else came back. And this team, if they don't get it done, Franklin, he's not going to get fired. He should be. Because at that point, what's the point?
Right.
If you're not going to win when it matters at Penn State, Penn State's on like the cusp of a blue blood, but they're not a blue blood. They're like in the upper echelon. They're just not at that level yet.
Yes.
But they have history. Penn State has history.
If all their history wasn't wiped away, we could really throw them in maybe like the low tier blue blood category. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we can throw them in with like Nebraska and stuff. But like it's got to be this year. And for James Franklin, you better like enough with the BS, enough with the excuses, enough with this team's just played better than us. We have to execute, get it done.
don't run the ball
Now
on 4th and 5.
it would make me so happy to see Penn State fall on their face again because it's so funny seeing Penn State try to act tough when they can't beat anybody. They lose to Ohio State every single year. They lose to Michigan every single time they play them. Hell, they lose to Michigan State almost every time they play them. That is embarrassing. And while they have some tough games this year, they have Oregon at home. They have Ohio State on the road. They got to get it done.
Yes.
They have to get it done this year because if they don't, Franklin should be leaving after
he should go back to Vanderbilt. Yeah.
Hey, man, Vandy.
Might be
Diego
on the-
Pavia was really good last year, and Vandy was 7-6.
Hey,
They're going to be 8-4 this year.
They're
No,
going
not.
to be
Just
8-4.
No, they're not.
What you-
I hope they make a bowl game again because Diego Pavia was so fun to see beat Alabama. That was awesome.
That was the greatest thing I've ever witnessed on live television. Yeah, this Penn State team, James Franklin, this is it. This is the chance. You've got everyone coming back. You stole Jim Knowles from Ohio State to be your
That
DC.
too. But Jim Knowles in his first year at Ohio State, he wasn't good.
No.
It took a few years to get that defense developed into the mindset of the players. So we'll also find out about that. He's also old. Jim Knowles is old.
Yes, he is. I mean, they still have the other edge rusher opposite of Abdul Carter. Or is he linebacker, Denai Sutton? I'm trying to remember. I forget what
I think
position
he was
is.
linebacker.
Might be linebacker.
I think he was like a hybrid like Micah Parsons.
He'll be a defensive end anyway this season, probably
Even Abdul
anyway.
Carter did that too. He played linebacker edge.
I mean, you have the best. There's no running back duo that compares to Nick Singleton and Katron Allen. Wide receiver room is still a question mark. They have some transfer guys in.
They did get some. Yeah, I was gonna say.
They still have some transfer guys, but I mean, was really their big question mark because Tyler Warren was their only receiver last year, which was their big problem. Was that they didn't have anyone else really. Shout out Julian Fleming. Hopefully he's doing good though.
What a 5-star bust that dude was. Now he was behind some guys, but he was terrible. And
I don't think it was terrible.
I don't know what was worse, his game or his hairline. I mean,
the disrespect is crazy.
Good Lord,
He was
rough.
he was injured most of his time at Ohio State though. That was really what
Even
derailed
when he was
him.
healthy, he wasn't good.
Because he was injury prone, my guy.
Yeah, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
Cameron Babb was getting reps over him, and Babb was like an 8th-year senior who wore the block O.
Hey, he deserved that time. Okay,
He
let him
did.
be.
He did.
Let him
I'm not hating on Cameron Babb. It's a diss on Julian Fleming.
Okay. But yeah, it's Penn State time. This is it. This is literally they kept everybody. They're doing the Michigan and Ohio State route, keeping everybody. I mean, they're gonna get their whiteout game against Oregon, and Oregon's got a little bit of question marks coming into this year. Yeah, they recruit
That'll be a
well.
fun game to watch.
It'll
That'll
be a
really
great
good.
game.
I'm glad they finally have a big game and not like a Minnesota or an Iowa as their whiteout like
Right.
they have been. It's finally a big game because the whiteout deserves to. The biggest game at home deserves to be the whiteout.
And I don't think there's a more intimidating atmosphere
Oh no,
than a.
it's unbelievable.
I
It's
mean-
something I want to experience. Like that looks so fun to be a part of that.
and this is it. This is it. Drew Aller, hype about you being a first round pick last year.
Your NFL, yeah, you'll say this. The NFL teams are going to be watching this dude this entire season because his NFL prospect rankings will rely on what he does. Because right now, I mean, I guess he'll be a first round pick, but like, does he really deserve it? Like, he's not. He every time he plays someone good, he craps his pants. So
We'll have to see this year if he's really about it. I mean, and we'll talk more throughout this early preseason about some of these other guys that really got to prove it. That's the other talk is like the quarterbacks this year. There's so many of them that people are thinking, is it going to be Arch? Is it going to be Cade Klubnik? Is it going to be Lenora Sellers that steps up? Is it going to be a guy like, yeah, I think I said Cade Klubnik already, but
yeah,
there's just a good amount of them. No one really knows a set quarterback for next year's draft coming in, and people think it's Drew Aller. I don't know why. Everyone thought Drew Aller was. I'm not gonna lie, I was on that train. I did say Drew Aller was gonna win the Heisman Trophy last year,
yeah, no way.
which was maybe the wildest
this year.
thing that I've ever said in my life on the podcast. But
You also never mind. You also said Virginia Tech was going to make the playoffs.
I did say Virginia Tech was gonna make the playoffs.
That's okay. I've said some I've said some.
I mean, you said the Jaguars were gonna play in the Super Bowl.
Exactly. I said the Jaguars were going to play Dallas in the Super Bowl. What, 2 years ago?
Yep,
I think that was the year after they made their playoff run.
it was.
Jaguars
Yep,
won like 4 or 5 games. So
it's all right. I had Penn State winning the national title last year, and after
but like
after
that wasn't out of pocket.
It's fair.
I mean they were one of the teams that were like favorited. It's
Yeah.
just, I don't know. I went with my heart, and I also went with what I wanted to happen in it. Hey, it worked. I got a flag saying it happened. So let's go.
okay.
I'm 1 for 1.
1 for 1. Let's go for 2 for 2. All right, let's aim for that.
OSU again. I don't care. Let's keep it going.
Let's keep it going, man. And before we wrap it up, let's talk a little bit about the Buckeyes because earlier today, as of this recording, we had Edric Houston go down with a leg injury. It appears it's not serious.
It's not serious. Yeah, I was gonna say I saw something from 11 Warriors about that. That he's supposed to be okay. So that's a big sigh of relief because he's supposed to be a big part of that defensive line.
And I mean, massive part of defensive line. Ohio State's lost a lot of talent on that defensive front. I mean, it's a whole new 4.
The entire
Except-
defense,
yeah,
to be fair, except
what-
Caleb
yes.
Downs,
And Sonny Styles.
Igbinosun, and Sonny Styles, and Jermaine Matthews, but he didn't start last year.
He should have started, I thought. I thought he was better sometimes than Denzel Burke.
I think Jermaine Matthews is better than Igbinosun, to be honest. And at points, Denzel Burke was terrible, and Jermaine Matthews was better. He might be the best corner out of that group. And,
He could be. I mean, and you have young guys. You got young guys coming into like Devin Sanchez, who could possibly step in for Ohio State right away if needed. To me, I think the real talk is we all feel like it's Julian Sand, right? But
yes,
it hasn't really been set in stone, And I think a lot of people are kind of overreacting to the stats that came out earlier today with the first real day of practice of him throwing an interception, only completing like 9 of like 15 or 16 or whatever it was. And Keen Holtz had a good day, and St. Clair had a great day. So, I don't know.
At the end of the day, I trust Ryan Day with the quarterback situation because the one thing I will give him, I know Kyle McCord wasn't amazing, but he was a solid to good quarterback. And Ryan Day does well with quarterbacks. We saw that with Will Howard last year with the 1 year he was there. We saw it obviously with Justin Fields, with C.J. Stroud, who he found himself.
Yes.
He recruited and developed himself. And Kyle McCord just didn't work out, but he was still a decent quarterback. It's gonna be Julian Sand. I know that they haven't like came out with oh, this guy's gonna start. They're not gonna do that until like 2 weeks out, probably before the home opener against Texas starts. It's gonna be Julian Sand. I would be otherworldly shocked if it's not, because he got all the reps behind Will Howard last year. He
Yes.
got every single backup rep when it was a blowout. And normally that's a sign that what
Right.
they think of you. You're the backup if Will Howard goes down, which means when Will Howard's gone, you're the guy. And it was Julian Sand's job to lose this year,
Yes.
coming in here, and I think he's going to keep it. I think Julian Sand will be good. How good? I don't know, but he is arguably one of the best wide receivers in Buckeye history on his team, and he still has another year after this one, and he still has Carnell Tate, and he still has
Brandon Innes
He has
and Mylan
Mylan
Graham.
Graham and Brandon Innes,
And he's going to have Chris Henry Jr. coming in
we're
too.
never gonna have to worry about wide receivers with Brian Hartline. That's the one thing that I will say. My biggest concern coming into the season is the running game, and it is the defensive line, because the
Yes.
defensive line last year wasn't great. It had times where it was good, and there was times where it was nowhere. And they had drafted talent on that team. They had Tyleik Williams, who got drafted in the first round. You had Jack Sawyer. You had JT Tuimoloau. You had guys who got drafted because of their production. Now, you're gonna have Caden Curry have a big role this year. Kenny Jackson's gonna have a big role. Edric Houston's gonna have a big role. There's gonna have to be guys that step up.
Yes.
And I think that it's gonna be and with the running game, is it gonna be James Peoples? Is it gonna be C.J. Donaldson?
I don't know if you've seen James Peoples on College Football 26, but that man's a monster.
He's insane. Oh my god! I saw something last year in College Football 25 to where he had 3,000 rushing yards his sophomore season, which is that happens this year. I think that's a pretty solid year. I think that
just a little bit
mark that in the book as the Buckeyes being really good this year. But,
he's bulked up as well. I know that they got the West Virginia transfer in Donaldson. I think Peoples is the starter. Yes.
I think Peoples is the starter. I think he will share the backfield with Donaldson. Donaldson Donaldson, I think, will be solid.
Yes.
Nothing special, but I think he'll be solid coming out of West Virginia.
I think Ohio State wants that duo to kind of have. I mean, just like last year with Henderson and Judkins, I think it's best when you can have some fresh legs out there, and I think allowing that is going to be just fine for both of them. But I agree. I think Peoples is going to be like the main head honcho in that backfield. He is. I mean, I don't want to put this out there, but he's got that trend going. He's got that TRT or something. I don't know, but them veins are popping is all I got to say on the forearms and biceps.
Yeah.
Because he's a whole different animal than what he looked like last year.
He looks good, at least in, camp and, the practices that you've seen. But it's going to be a very, very wild card year for the Buckeyes.
Yes.
Because of how much talent they did lose. You got to start all over, and now everybody's young. Everybody's sophomores or juniors. You barely have any seniors, like at all. And I think the best thing to know is that OSU has the best defensive and offensive player in college football, and that's something you can you can rely on. You can rely on Caleb Downs, and you can rely on Jeremiah Smith. And I think that no matter the quarterback, it doesn't matter. Throw the ball to number 4, he will come down with it.
As long as it's in his catch radius, he'll come down with it. It don't matter. It doesn't matter where it is. It could be on the defender's heels.
He can have anything he wants. I saw catches that I've never seen a true freshman ever make. And
anywhere,
he still
at any spot.
He's a sophomore. Can you imagine what he's going to be like his junior year?
He might. He himself
might
change
2,000 receiving yards.
He might change rules for college football athletes to leave after 2 years of eligibility. I'm just serious. He might be the reason.
Drafted after last year. He would have gone into the NFL if he was eligible.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Someone would have easily taken him.
Yes.
But yeah, it'll be a fun year.
It'll be a fun year for sure for Ohio State. Should be a very bad year for my Cleveland Browns, and we'll be here to talk about it all throughout it. And that's all right. We'll get through this pain together. Okay. You'll have
my team will be fine.
I know they should be fine.
My team will be good. I hope. Yeah. I mean, we have a tough schedule, but I see the Lions going 11-6. I think 11-6 is a solid record because they have a ton of road games that are tough. But I think with having a top 5 roster, it's gonna help you out.
It's all right. If they get a win, we'll be okay. If we get a win,
I'll go 3-14 for the Browns.
Not again. Not again. I can't go 3-14 again.
You want 2-15? Is that what you want?
I want to be the first 1-16 team. Yeah, that's the goal.
Why don't you be bad next year so you can get Jeremiah Smith? Or
we could be bad both years, so that way we can draft 2 quarterbacks this year.
Or you can get Drew Aller, who's gonna, do amazing things for Penn State this year. Then he's gonna throw the ball to Jeremiah Smith. I don't care. Jeremiah Smith is gonna be the best wide receiver when it comes out of the draft. It's gonna be insane. Like I can't wait. I can't wait for him to be in the NFL. I don't care who he goes to. I will buy a jersey of it, unless it's the Packers. I can't. I legitimately couldn't emotionally
Don't throw that idea out for Aaron, all right? Because he's just gonna try.
I could not emotional handle it. Like that's like if Jeremiah Smith was wearing black and gold. Like I could not handle that.
Don't get me started about that, all right? No, we don't need to go down that rabbit hole.
That's a few
tonight.
Years from now. He's still on our team. We're good.
Exactly.
We got 2 more
That's
years.
Fair. 2 more years.
Maybe he'll come around for his senior year.
He's gonna need $50 million in NIL money to come back for a senior year.
I don't care. It's not my money. Give it to him.
It might be taxpayer money. You don't know that. Have you seen what we're doing for the Browns Stadium? That might be more taxpayer money. You know what I mean? So.
Well, that's different. You don't got anybody funding that stadium except the taxpayers.
It's fair. That's fair.
But,
well,
I don't know.
It's all right. That's going to wrap up this first episode here
of
the Scoop and Score.
Has this been 2 hours?
It is over 2 hours. We're over 2 hours. Yes, sir.
Wow.
Here, first episode of the Scoop and Score football show brought to you by Ball and Beats Media. It's a new era here for us. We're just getting started, and we're looking forward to more. We'll be back here weekly for you guys moving forward, and we're looking forward keeping this going. A new setup, new temporary way of doing things around here, but
same voices, new setup.
Same voices, new setup, and
new format.
A big vision for the future.
Yep.
Signing off here from you guys. Take care and peace out.